nigga, yeah. Shit real round here, yeah, nigga, yeah. Shit real round here, If you want it, you can get it, my nigga. Shit real round here, If you want it, you can get it, my nigga. Shit. Look, if you ain't no ask somebody, they'll tell you about me. Nothing fake, nothing flawed, nothing bitch about me. I'm a G, I've been running these streets since a youngin'. Since 14, I've been bugging, slaying heat, ain't nothing. You won't be, say something. You can get it, I ain't tripping. One song, just know you better not let me catch you slipping. Cause whatever we need, I'ma smash you. Broad daylight around the club, I'ma get at you. If you let me tip down on the nigga, you chapter. I guarantee you that it's gonna be a closed casket. I'm about this. What's understood don't need to be explained. For the money or the fame, I was a gangster in the game. I ain't lying when I tell you about me and my background, about me and my lifestyle. I ain't never backed down. I ain't never froze up. I ain't never turned state. I ain't never missed when I emptied the clip out the cage, nigga. However you want it, nigga, you could get it, cause shit real. It's get it how you live. However you want it, nigga, you could get it, cause shit real. It's get it how you live. However you want it, nigga, you could get it, cause shit real. It's get it how you live. However you want it, nigga, you could get it, cause shit real. It's get it how you live. It's never die, do it, get dead, nothing less. Fuck with the kid, get two to the head, two to the chest. Nigga, I'm the best when it come to the street shit. You got your hands full fucking with me with this beef shit. I be on some all night flight, no sleep shit. Me, my dog, and 2Ks, fuck that police shit. We coming with it, hunting round drumming with it. You running from it, we running with it. You bitch ass niggas ain't fucking with it. I'm out here, head first, ready to go head up. Walking with your head down, bound to get your head bust. Hit the feds, come, I'm off the scene, off the block. I know the bus move when it get hot. Shut down the shop, open up another on the other side of town. Got yeah and I got pounds. Jizzle was a hustler and a head bust all in one. Don't get it twisted, I do this rap shit for fun, you heard? However you want it, nigga, you could get it, cause shit. So I went all the way down to the trap in ATL. Oh yeah, so I let T.I., you know what I'm saying, to see how they do it. Cause I know how we do it in the hood and the NO. It's street, it's real street. I've been a street nigga my whole life. I was raised in them, yeah. Wild out, flighted for nights and days in them. Nigga, I played in them. I told the kids in them. In 7th grade, I started trying to get paid in them. If you ain't real, you ain't gonna be safe in them. Bitch niggas get jacked and they hoe get raped with them. I done saw niggas get stabbed and shot dead in them. No reppin', I bust my share heads in them. Leave caught niggas down bad and bust lead in them. The streets getting flaky cause not a feds in them. Putting pressure on busters, getting info from them. Niggas telling it all when it's coming and who from them. Damn, that's fucked up. The streets that change. These bitch niggas straight poison in the game. But Jizzle can't change the streets, that's me. I live and die by the street rules cause I'm a G. I'm a street nigga. A street nigga. That's what I've been and that's what I'm gon' be, nigga. I'm a street nigga. A straight street nigga. I was taught if I'm a play like a G, nigga. I'm a street nigga. A street nigga. That's what I've been and that's what I'm gon' be, nigga. I'm a street nigga. A straight street nigga. I was taught if I'm a play like a G.
A nigga thorough as they come. Was raised in the gutters in the slum. Known as the number runner son. And the dope man nephew who uncle on the run. The candidate grandbaby hustle for the fun. The yay was sold daily from the dust to the chrome. Like easy in the 80s, nigga stayed in the sun. I swore I'd never run, so I stayed with a gun. I kept my little 380 with the blade to the sun. All I fit with God, play my card, how it come. I'ma stand like a man till it's all said and done. And that's even if they run niggas, cause I know I run with a clique of wild, misguided, underprivileged young niggas. Give a fuck who you is or where you from, nigga. You can get it, we taking over the city. I was raised in the belly of the beast, to say the least. My role model was doing time, so I learned from the streets.
I'm a street nigga. A a street nigga. That's what I've been and that's what I'm gonna be, nigga. I'm a street nigga. A straight street nigga. I was taught if I'm a play like a G, nigga. I'm a street nigga. A street.
Okay. Well, let's see where I'm going with this. Welcome to the Revolutionary Agenda. I am your host, Seduction Doll, aka Lady Che. Welcome to the Revolutionary Agenda. Sorry, man, my shit's just not acting right as usual. I hope you can hear me. I hope I'm not talking too loud. I feel like I'm sitting kind of far away, and I feel like I'm sitting kind of far away, and this light is getting on my damn nerves. Hold on 1 second. Welcome. Give me 1 second. I need to adjust something real fast. 1 quick second. I'm right here. Anyway, by the way. Let's see. I hope you can hear me. I feel like I'm always yelling and want to talk kind of low. Well, not low, but in my natural voice, which is kind of low, I guess, if you want to say that. My damn ear. All right, I'm back. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. It was fine like 2 seconds ago. God damn it. All right, here we go. Everything seems to, like, as soon as I get started, it's always something like my damn jewelry gets caught everywhere, and your chair and this and that, and I'm like, man, you're straight like fucking 2 seconds ago. Get it together. I'm back. It's this goddamn light right here. Not that I'm trying to. I had to change the glasses because, like I said, it was cool. It was good like a few minutes ago, and now it's like the damn light. The lighting. I think it's the programs. Like wherever you're at, like I could be looking at the camera on the actual computer, and it wouldn't look like this. Or I can call somebody on Messenger, and it wouldn't. I wouldn't feel like I'm like there's like some glare coming in. It's not hitting right, I guess. I don't know. I felt weird, like I look weird, but I don't know. I'm just supposed to look weird. 1 second. I shouldn't make me wear my regular motherfucking glasses. Just totally weird, because that's not what I want to do. It's too much light. Okay, fuck it. One of these coming off then. My eyes are really I want to say they're sensitive. Huh? See what that? Okay, that's fair. Maybe not. Oh my god, for real. As soon as I went live, I knew something was gonna happen. So I was like dragging it all day today. I got a pretty interesting little show today to do. Where have I been? As usual, on Black Vacation. Kind of got a lot of things going on, personally. So nobody really asked me, but personally, I've been kind of a little occupied. My hair is stuck in between my jewelry. Okay, hold on a sec. Oh, you're about to see me found it. Just give me a second. I only need one light on right here. This light right there. Let me see. Oh my god. Okay. It's all about how I'm sitting. For some reason, I'm catching like when I turn on my little light, catching weird ass light from somewhere else. Seems like it's picking it up on the camera. Okay, so where was I at? Yeah, I've been busy. Not really, but really. Kind of, but not really. First of all, half the time I'm on Black Vacation. A lot of this stuff is a lot of stuff that we're about to cover today. Most of it has already been touched on or delved into heavily. So I try to avoid those. Try to avoid them as much as possible. I try to go for things that are a little less less touched on, I guess. Plus, with Frontline Black News on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that's 3 days. It's just like every topic you see, like that everybody's touching on, um, he touches on them too. So it kind of leaves it. It kind of some days it feels like there's nothing to talk about, and so I'll just wait until something pops up, and I gotta keep eyes on certain things or whatever. And then the other thing is I've been building something up for myself. Been building up. Well, I've personally been building up the revolutionary agenda. Um, Not necessarily bringing up numbers in any way, but just a lot of design, basically, and kind of getting myself together. I would say, the first couple of years during the um, RVA, it was mostly a reactionary thing, but doing that, I had been so focused on um, building up the Frontline Black News, or you know trying to be consistent with that I really didn't put much. I never really put much thought into my shit, into anything I really want to do. Usually, how it goes is I usually put more effort into other people's things. Um, that's all pretty much always how it's been. Um, and that I will neglect my shit, or I won't even think about it. I'll make sure it's the last thing I do. But I would say, excuse me, as of lately, as of the last year or so, I've just been pondering on taking care of it, doing things for my personal show, and creating something separate that I can uh, talk about other things on. Or I got a lot. Nobody ever asked me, so I can't really just volunteer. I don't really volunteer information, but like I have a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things, and certain aspects. If you don't ask me, I'm not just gonna tell you, but I do I do a lot of like divination, things like that. I know every single modality naturally, intuitively. So that's more of a spiritual realm of things. So kind of been looking at other different avenues, different things I could delve into. Not that I'm particularly bored. I just want to see what else I'm capable of. You know what I mean? And a lot of this was just mostly uh experimental. Somebody said I couldn't do something, I said I could. And I just feel challenged, so I'm going to do pretty much what I want. And lately, as politics has been moving, I've had a lot of questions, and can't seem to get the answers I'm looking for. Um, even with all this podcasts that we listen to that are specifically B1, I'm not getting some of the answers they really need. That's on the weekend, then TVA pretty much covers it. Um, but I often want to see more political strategy. I'll take that back. Black Light Revelations covers some too. Um, kind of nervous. Y'all make me nervous. So it's been like almost 3 weeks, maybe, or longer. Two is when it takes me a while to put out broadcast because I'm self confident. Yes, self self confident. I'm sensitive about my work, and I deal with a lot of fucking nonsense every goddamn day, and so that will deter me from wanting to put something out. I try to keep my stuff to myself. um yeah, I've just been building. I've been building. So I've been building my the look of my my broadcast. I've been creating that. So I have been done. I was done, and now I'm just about to pay for it. So I'm take like one more week, and that'll be handled. Um, I've been kind of working on different things. little bit of working on Jesse's campaign stuff, just a little bit, not too much. I've been keeping eyes on a lot of different things, and mostly I've been on Black vacation. Like I said, every Black person deserves a vacation, minimal 4 fucking years off top. Getting well, getting ready, just making things happen for myself, really. I would have to say that it sounds selfish, except it isn't. Normally, like I said, I normally don't ever do anything for myself. I don't do anything for myself. This is a fact. I will put everything, ahead or in front. Probably because I don't have anything to worry. Like really, I don't have a child right now to take care of or anything like that, and pretty much can manage the everyday things. So it's easy for me to just go ahead and do that because I feel like doing this is like a selfless act. Being a message booster, selfless act. What we're doing for is, it's obviously bigger than me, bigger than you, it's bigger than all of us, right? So that's important. Um, I would say kind of helping Jesse, not really so much. Um, that's kind of been interesting. Just basic stuff. I've had a loss too the last month or so. Had a heavy loss in our family. Um, that's been kind of hard. That's been kind of heavy. Uh, I don't know. It's basic shit. Pretty much just ignoring a lot of things. Watching TV. I've been watching The Walking Dead. That's what I've been doing for like the last couple weeks. I mean, like season 10 now. We could talk all about that. That shit is crazy. I never really watched it every like that every episode. And prior to just catching up on it and starting it over just recently, last time I see, I can't even say that. Last time I see The Walking Dead was when my cousin Gina was still alive. She got her car repossessed. Everybody, ooh shit. She got her car repossessed. Like during it. And I remember all the shit that happened in the midst of that. And The Walking Dead was on. I was like, God damn it, man, you distracted me. I'm trying to watch the rest of the show. And after that, all kinds of stuff had happened. And it's been years since I actually started. I did start it like 2 weeks ago. And I've been invested. Like already 10 seasons in. Got like one more season. It's a wrap. So I've been doing that. We'll have to say that I watched the new Cat Williams comedy special on Netflix. Yeah, it's all right. I would like to say though, he did stand up for reparations. He did really talk about that. Not really talk about it, but he gave at least 3 minutes of it at the end of his show to talk about reparations. So that was a highlight. That's pretty much. I mean, it was just it was regular. I mean, it was regular. I thought it could have been funnier. Yeah, he's done better. But he's done better. You know what I mean? We're gonna touch on a lot of different things. I'm gonna start with a couple things. First, I'm gonna start with something funny to watch. We're gonna lighten up the mood because I got the giggles for some reason. Let's start with something funny, and then I'm going to go into we'll do some Denver stuff, some migrant. We're gonna talk about the migrant encampments, real quick, just the latest, and then I'm going to move into the protesting we have here in the city. And talk a little bit about that, my feelings towards that. And then I saw a couple things that in the newspaper, or what I like to call the newspaper, even though it's online. I read like a few little articles, and I'm just kind of overly disgusted with the new mayor, which we kind of expected. You should know if you've been watching long enough that here me and Jesse have been thoroughly fucking disgusted with the mayor. the new mayor, and we said what we said. It's pretty much been true the whole time. Um, I have questions upon questions, and I'm like, man, I really, really feel like some heavy auditing from outside resources needs to happen, outside sources, like private auditing, not connected nowhere near anywhere or anybody in the mayoral cabinet or city council or anything, just completely independent, solely doesn't know anybody auditor. Okay, just go in there and hit them hard. I feel like there's some unanswered questions, when it comes to the mayor, his office, and all this other shit. So many things, so many questions, and I feel like audits, so that somebody that's not attached to the mayoral fucking cabinet, somebody who's not attached, totally private. Um, that way that person could tell the truth. You know what I mean? Because uh, there's all kinds of suspect shit going on, and I want answers just because my own curious little hood detective skill sets are requiring them for my own curiosity. However, pretty much feeling like this is all bad. It's all going to be bad, and we told you, we said it. So well, so we're gonna start with that, and then we'll touch a little bit on some culture vulturing. Talk a little bit about this Vlad situation. Um, a lot of things, like I said, a lot of things that are happening, that are meant to be distractions, like the music beef and this Vlad shit and all that. All it is really, family, it's just a fucking distraction. A lot of things are distractions, when it comes to this upcoming season of elections, politics, and religion. A lot of things are meant to be distracting. And so, I'm cognizant to know what a distraction is. So I didn't really like delve too much into it, but I know enough to know that certain things have been a problem for us for a long time. And people have said it thousands of times, millions of times, that uh, a few of these people are straight profiting off the culture, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So much to say about that. We'll carry on with that a little bit later. And I'll delve into that on how I feel about it. What else? I have something else to talk about. Actually, I do. I got a couple of things to talk about. So, do you want to delve into some Cornell West stuff too, if I have time? And yeah, so let's get into it. I'm gonna show a cartoon. Show a cartoon first, and then we're gonna hit into this migrant encampment sweeps and stuff. Sweeps. And some news about that. Some migration news. It's gonna lead into migration news. Then I'm gonna go to protesting. So I have like a heavy queue, but I'm gonna try to go through it really fast so I don't guess. I kind of do a multitask. Let's see. It seems like every time I come on here, I always get nervous. Let's say. It's too. I was learning this new thing. Not really familiar how to use it. Doing everything now on Streamlabs, so people have a lot of experience with it, and I don't, not necessarily so much. Oh yeah, and I want to talk about what I'm gonna start, where I fit on the revolutionary scale. I'm gonna talk about that, but towards the end. You see, I think I'm gonna go with this one. Let's see. Hold on.
Attention, citizens of Earth. This is an official emergency broadcast.
I forgot. I gotta put this up there real fast before I forget. Before I forget. Let's see, man. Let's see. damn copyright. Here it is. All right, hopefully it is showing. Make sure. Okay, good. Our family is. It seems like So this is what I get for playing with the damn computer, huh? I was sitting here bored before it started, and I was like, God damn it, just leave things alone. Let's see, 1 second. Okay, it's like I just want to fix it. Where do I have it at? Right, maybe. Let's see. Nope, you can't see it. Nope. Let's go right here. Okay, I think that's where it's at. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Yes, y'all be all up in my queue for right now. So I'm gonna be switching cues back and forth. So, all right, we're gonna start off with something funny, just because I feel like giggling. I want to have it. Yeah. All right, fuck it.
Please remain calm and listen carefully. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, an extraordinary event has occurred. A three-headed alien entity has made contact with our planet. This being expresses a desire to communicate with the notorious crime syndicate known as the Legion of Doom. We want to assure you that there is no need to panic. Our teams are diligently working to facilitate this communication while ensuring the safety and well-being of all individuals involved. While the exact whereabouts of the Legion of Doom are elusive, we have utmost confidence in our ability to locate and establish contact with them. Please trust that every effort is being made to ensure a peaceful and secure resolution to this unprecedented situation. This is not a test. We repeat, this is not a test. We kindly ask for you to please remain calm and stay tuned for further instructions. Your safety is our utmost priority. After our own, of course, because on some real shit, high-key, low-key. Most of us, and by us meaning the absurdly rich elitist, are on a rocket ship about to head to Mars with Elon Musk and Sir Richard Charles Nicholas Branson, only accompanied by the baddest, big-tittied, head-obsessed, beautiful-faced BBL having bitches the Earth has to offer, popping bottles and eating nasty-ass caviar even if we don't like it, because it's the rich thing to do. Imagine the big, pimpin' video in space. The rest of you broke boys are probably screwed. But hey, things may turn out okay, so remain calm. Besides, aliens may be cool. I mean, Superman turned out okay, right? So don't panic. Panicking only makes death more agonizing. Good luck and more than likely goodbye, but hopefully not. Thank you. Also, getting head in space is magical.
This is the 4th year we haven't got on the Evil XXL cover. What the fuck? What the fuck we gotta do?
How about we stop trying?
Who the fuck on the cover more evil than us?
Looking at it, we got a few. I mean, shit, we got a platypus on here. You know they evil as fuck.
That's facts. I don't fuck with the platypuses.
What?
We got Ellen, fucking Lizzo. We got YNW Donald. Hey, this cover kind of solid.
Hey, why you on everybody on the cover dick so hard, bro? You all right?
No, I was just saying
And I was just saying you on a lot of dicks. You're on a bouquet of dicks right now. I don't even know how you can ride them all at once. Look, we gotta step our fucking game up. We should be on the cover every year. We should own the magazine.
I'm sorry, Lex, but I'm just too tired to try to be more evil than Lizzo.
Bro, why the fuck y'all keep talking about Lizzo? What the fuck did she do? Eat a meat?
Lex, you can't say that.
What you mean I can't say it? I just did.
Supposed to say little person, Lex.
Little person? That should sound retarded.
Lex, you can't say that either. What is wrong with you? Are you trying to get us canceled like Lizzo?
Bro, why don't y'all bring up Lizzo one more time on my head, but everybody in here, bro. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck did she do?
Well, allegedly, she weight shamed some of her former employees, and she also did some.
Well, hold on. What? She what?
She weight shamed.
Stop right there. When you say weight shamed, are you talking about she made somebody feel bad about having too much patience or some shit? Like you should be ashamed that you wait so long?
No, Lex, as in body shaming.
Allegedly, she alluded to the fact that a few of her employees needed to lose weight.
Okay, was she go find it? Or like, I don't get this. What the fuck? She called somebody fat, but she fat. So that ain't offensive. That's like black people saying the N-word, right?
Nigga, what?
I'm just confused. If you're fat and you call somebody else fat, don't they cancel each other out? Who the fuck got our number?
Greetings, Earthlings. We are aliens. And we've arrived on
Siri in call.
This motherfucker hung up on
What
aliens.
the hell are you doing? Why would you ignore that? I got no time for that shit right now. I'm trying to figure out why fat bitches calling other fat bitches fat and other fat bitches getting offended when the fat bitch call them fat.
Does a platypus chuck wood?
No, that's a woodchuck.
Oh, it ain't. Because it say how much wood could a woodchuck chuck of a woodchuck?
See, right there, you just answer your question. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? Like it say, you're asking how much can it?
Incorrect as fuck. Because at the end it says if a woodchuck could chuck
No, that ain't how it goes. It's when a woodchuck
Hey, listen,
should
bro.
chuck.
This conversation is completed. Shut your ugly ass up.
Super friends in the Legion of Doom.
All right, shit. All right. Let's see. Let me get over here real quick. Now I gotta go back. So we're gonna do something funny. All right. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, let's set it. Huh. Fascinating. That's not making any sense at all. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay. Now on to Denver. Sorry. All right. So here's my. Okay. So here, look. I can go back. I'm gonna go back. I could go back, but I don't want to. Give you a little context. The mayor was housing migrants. He was for a minute. Then he kicked them all out, like 300-400 at a time. Short version, right? He's been closing shelters down, and lately he's been closing. I think he closed down one shelter that kind of affected the homeless, actual homeless. This is what he said he wasn't gonna do. They got caught. What I like to say, a hot mic moment. You know, basically telling migrants they can't come here, they can't stay here. You know, that type of shit. Then they sent some person down to the border to basically let let the migrants know that you can't come here. There ain't shit here to come to, allegedly, right? Whole time money's still being passed out. They've been asking the citizens if they want to house basically house a migrant in their house. These are short versions of things. The migrants have decided to come up with a list of demands. All kinds of crazy shit, right? So we're gonna touch on that. I would say that the mayor is full of shit. Yeah, we said that already. Also too, I tried to get an appointment with the mayor, and he didn't. Nobody responded to that. Nobody responded to that appointment. Tried to make an appointment with the council lady too. She didn't respond to that. I reached out twice to her. But the mayor, for sure, his office did not get a hold of me. It's been like 2 weeks. So I'm just going to have to pull up on him like, we do with any other thing. And that'll be going on all, like, as soon as next week, I'll be back outside. So, I feel like, shit's intentional. That shit's intentional. It's been like that. So we're going to get into that here a lot. Jessica's telling me about them bringing up the Fair Elections Fund at City Council again, and they were supposed to have a meeting about it. Truth be told, I wasn't really paying attention to anything Jesse was saying except for the meeting. Why? Because that shit pissed me off the first time, and it felt like since it's not it's not happening in this election or this election that he's going through, I really didn't want to hear about it. You know what I mean? That's just kind of, He's talking to me. I was like in one ear and out the other. Probably because it was just constant fuckery. It wasn't right. It wasn't done right. For the people for a very small group of people during his campaign qualified for this fair elections fund shit. Or we're just in general, the fund was meant for people like them, so they could run a fair race, and so they could compete with motherfuckers with bread and white people and whatnot. So it didn't work out. But none of that. I would say this, that the fair elections department and the people in the fair elections department, specifically one person, he liked to say that we were spreading misinformation and lies. And that wasn't true at all. It was really him doing it. You just keep going. But this was the whole campaign, whole Jesse's campaign. It's back and forth with this motherfucker. I felt like he was doing some really schemy shit and some such shit. And certain people should not have been able to get away with any kind of certain leeway. If it's not good for everybody, nobody should be able to do it right. Plus, we're in a Democrat city, so when you have bold independents, they don't, they're not feeling any of that, so they'll find any way to shut that shit down. But the biggest thing I think lately was what bothers me about the fair elections department is that when the mayor is making all kinds of cuts, he was making all kinds of cuts. The motherfucker at the fair elections department was adamant he wasn't going to go for it. He wasn't going to let his department get cut. For who cares what his reasons was? And I was like, damn. So it's just like that, huh? But you're just gonna say no. The mayor is like, hey, look, I'm about to cut my shit, but I'm cutting if the police could get their budget cut, but the elections department can't. Think about that, right? And he's basically saying no. I'm like, so oh boy that runs the elections department, he's basically saying fuck you in that. No, not doing it. That's you know what I mean? He's like above the mayor, because I would be like, fuck that. No, you gonna do that? Fuck that. Cut your shit. As a matter of fact, because you got loud, like take it more down. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like matter of fact, I try to just lay you off because I just don't trust you like that. I don't know. He was just like, no, he wasn't gonna do it, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it. So everybody else got cut. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. Because I was like, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. But when you hear it from just me and Jesse, me just giving you the short brandy versions of it, you hear it from us, it's like we're like the only ones saying it. So, he got a whole group of galvanized motherfucking close to proximity motherfucking dominant society that they gotta, that they paid into. So dude's well funded. Like he shouldn't I didn't like, how the fuck is he still in that department, right? And you thought we voted him out too. I wanted to vote him out. Pretty sure I wanted to vote him out. I think he came up for election too. Damn Paul Lopez. He was not doing fair shit, and one of our other mutual friends files paperwork in court, also citing him as a problem. Got the receipts to that too. Real shit. There's actual court documents. It's a real thing. I felt like it wasn't, not that it wasn't fair, because for us nothing is really fair. It's just blatantly obvious that it wasn't. It wasn't even pretending a little bit. It wasn't. Everything that happened during that campaign, or during that election, that campaign, for that whole fucking year, was blatantly obvious. There was the only upset was why. What the fuck is the motivation? These are like the common questions. They're like, it's really looking bad when you You turn in your first petition, and you got all 50 names, but you kick out 25 Muslims. I mean, that's kind of like an issue. Maybe we should talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. Or why does it take so long to cure on this one particular day? And how does it? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, no, none of this shit none of this shit happened. Made any sense. Not that, it wasn't possible that a person could lose or any of that shit, because that's always a fucking possibility. It's always a possibility. Not even remotely concerned about that part. It was mostly all this fuckery is happening right here and nobody's addressing it except us. And when we addressed it, it was pushed off as motherfucking like nonsense. Like we were just talking shit. The intentional, I want to say, not allowing him to participate in certain forums, the intentionalities of a lot of things, and it just over the time since the election, I've been on my shit, I've been on my little detectiving, so I've come up with some little thoughts of my own. Not really conspiracy theory. It's just the fact that I'll probably be the only one saying it out loud. You hear me? And a lot of people had questions and nobody got any answers because nobody asked those questions. And we don't have a new black media here except for our sister Vicky Dillard and me and Jesse. Okay. So everybody else is on some other shit. Really. And if you're in Denver, holler at me. I'm telling you the truth because I don't see anybody else except for that is like Sister Vicky Dillard or me or Jesse. I don't see anybody else. That's just the way. I don't see anybody else. And if there was somebody else out here, I would know about it. I've seen every other off-brand podcast though that is here. You know what I mean? There's like several of them. Several of them. At least about 10 or 11. Maybe even about 10 or 11. So yeah, I've seen those. But as far as codified Black First message boosting, broadcasting, fucking anything in alignment, like as of Sister Vicky Dillard, minor justice, and we have 3, and like at least 2 between us, and one that recently working on with Shabaka. So that's them. They're 3. I don't see anybody else. Everybody else doesn't count because they're not definitely not on code. Definitely not codified. I don't give a fuck with what they say off camera because I'm like this all day long. So to me, that's not even a real thing. Like you can't be this. You can't be one way all day. You're just something fraudulent about you. You know what I mean? Like you ain't right. I'm like this all motherfucking day long. All day. Okay, so it doesn't matter where I go, how I am like this all fucking day. Now, right now I'm just in a giggly ass mood, but normally I'm like this. So I don't really change demeanor. It's not like code switching or none of that shit going on with me. I pretty much mean what I say, and yeah, you're not gonna have me fucking submitting or apologizing for shit. No, and not at all. Not at all. But the other podcasts that are here that have Black people in them, I have some other shit. There are some other shit that's usually it's not fucking important to us. Look, you can't captivate me, period. Not even in real life, but you can't captivate my fucking brain within like 15 Mississippis. It's a wrap. I'm just not gonna. I'll skim through your shit like I skim through books and newspapers. You know what I mean? It ain't really worth it to me. Why? Because it's always probably on some old broad and ambiguous motherfucking inclusivity type kumbaya shit. I'm not with it. So I can speak to my inner essence. And there's so many caveats, but nothing that I've seen recently from these other podcasters are or anything for me to really pay attention to or want to get involved with or listen to. I can't even really listen to them when they pop up doing some toxic motherfucking clout chasing. I can't do that either. So it's not tough for me. It's just like, well, I wish there was more. Thus meaning, like when it comes to spreading messages that the new black media gives us, it's like, I hope they hear it. If these motherfuckers be like, their ears be stuffed with motherfucking cooning fucking material that that they can't receive nothing. Too programmed, too comfortable, too like belligerent about it, too coherently consistent with ignoring the fucking message. Which also leads me to some new brainstorming, which we're getting to a little later. Um, It's kind of want to poke somebody's brain and see what they think about this. Everybody has a part to play, even them, in the revolution, even them. So we'll talk about that much later. Let's get into it. The mayor sweeping motherfucking migrants right at first. Okay, migrants are so fucking bold. Okay, they would never let us as unhoused black people or unhoused people, say unhoused black people first. They would never let us keep our children outside. So their kid is just gone. Somebody caught you with your kid outside. The kid is in CPS custody. There's nothing you can say. It only takes a couple of times of them seeing you outside with your kid. That's a wrap. You know what I mean? You can't. That's why a majority of unhoused black folk are either they try to go into family like room vouchers. They can get it, and it's hoops and loops with that. Okay, it's not like them, and I mean them, not like them where they can just go and talk to someone, and it depends on how or whatever they can get a voucher, but their vouchers might cover longer, whereas an unhoused black family will not have that same opportunity. They'll have a one night voucher for a hotel room, and that's the shitty part. It's so much hoops and loops to get into. Say, for example, I'm giving you a prime example. So much hoops and loops for me to get in when I had my child, to get into a domestic violence shelter, right? I want to say that it was Black Ran, okay? Domestic violence shelter. Black women were there. Black women is who I dealt with. That's all I dealt with over there. Same thing. I had my kid that I was homeschooling. Some shit went down. Either way, it doesn't matter. I lost my kid there. Okay, doesn't matter what I did, how I did it, what I was doing to rectify a situation, clear it up prior to. I had lost my child like that, just like that, and it looked like neglect and all sorts of shit. All because I didn't receive my monthly stipend to care for myself. Because at that point in time, I had put someone in the army, and I received my basic monthly stipend, so I couldn't take care of me and her. Simple as that. Simple as that. And because it was cold, I had a kid. I couldn't just go anywhere. So I put myself in there. The circumstances of that just became what they were in the moment as the moments were passing. So yeah, it's terrible. So a few months later, I ended up losing my child. Just like that. But I had to stay in there. Couldn't have my little girl outside in the street with me, right? Because it would just, you couldn't. I was watching a lot of other friends that I had lose their kid as soon as it was like their kid couldn't go outside and touch cold weather. It was a wrap after that. Brother. Okay, I was just checking. I didn't know you were here. I'm live. Sorry about that. So yeah. So first of all, that we don't get to just chill with our children outside and living in a car, fucking in a tent. That's just off top. It's like, oh, that's a fact. Anybody else with even it goes for other races like OTBs. The whites, even them, they really don't have their children outside like that. And if they do, and they're doing the same thing like we're doing, they're kind of scooting around, But when it comes to them, white privilege kind of takes over. It's not as detrimental. Depends. I guess it depends. I've seen it in a couple of different ways. I've seen it in a couple of different ways. Not these people. And we would never be able to keep like a group of 100 unless it's like in one specific part of town. And even then, I don't even think they do it like that over there anymore. And that was I want to say it was by the Platte, but it really wasn't. It was by one of the shelters, but behind, behind one of the male shelters. I forgot what the name of that fucking street is, but it was back there, and it would go for like a whole mile. Everybody could see it. They were building up these apartments back there. They were specifically, allegedly, for unhoused people. They were building it up, and they never did it. They built them up, but they never went to what they were supposed to be going for. And the last time I'd seen that place, man, me and Jesse went down there to film Sweep. That shit was hectic. This is different though. This is different because, for various reasons, protesting on the campus is going on. So they're kind of like taking notes on that. Like, oh, they had made a list of demands. Well, when the unhoused made their list of demands, what they wanted every fucking month, and they show up to have these like ritual fucking sit downs in the city, nothing would fucking happen from this. So I'm kind of like I'm kind of feel some kind of way about it. You know what I mean? I feel like this shit ain't even remotely fair. Remotely fair. It's not even a little bit in the right way of being fair. It's a game. One of our other friends was showing some stuff last week on his show. It kind of really made me wonder. I just hadn't had time this week to do it. My damn jewelry is caught. I haven't had time to look into it. Plus, I want to hear what they're saying. Like, it seemed like almost intentionally, stuff was hidden out of the news this week. Like, they focused more on the migrants and the protesting versus the unhoused. And it's kind of weird, The only time you can read it is in the newspaper. But if you try to look for visuals online, it was not happening. Because I was like trying to report on that today too, and I couldn't really find anything. And what I did find, it just only led me to more questions and be like, this motherfucker needs an audit. Him, and then I would go back as far as like the previous administration, and some of these new council members too, I feel like too, everybody gave us a hard time for putting our shit first, being black first to get the whole motherfucking, seemed like the whole world is gonna end. But let everybody else tell it. They can just put anything and everybody in front of this, and there's no repercussions. Real shit. Let me get it going. All right. I'm gonna check the stream out right now.
Every lunch for the past 2 months, I've been eating Huel instant meal cups, and it's changed the game for me. It's as easy as instant ramen, but much, much tastier. Plus, it has all 27 essential vitamins and minerals, as well as 23 grams of protein in each serving. I personally have replaced all my lunches with Huel, and I can honestly say it's made for me. And because it is high in
Thank you. Breaking news right now. A group of migrants living near railroad tracks in Denver's Central Park neighborhood is being swept. The city has offered shelter, but we are told that the people living there have refused. 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez is live near the encampment. And Brianna, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, we have seen some people come out of that encampment already. They brought out all their belongings here. Now, I just spoke to a DPD officer just a couple of minutes ago. We did see some unmarked and marked vehicles. They say that they're going to be here until the sweep is over. Again, that sweep started right now, actually, at 8 a.m. this morning. Now, they said that the company that owns that private property, they're bringing in their own contractors. Right now, a big dumpster just pulled up. They haven't gone inside yet, but let me just kind of show you what's around this encampment. So we're seeing up those fences. They brought up those fences, the private contractors, early this morning around 6 when I first arrived here, and we kind of showed you those fences go up. We're actually seeing right now some movement over there at that encampment. It's kind of far where I'm currently standing. So the private property is owned by a railroad company. That company is called Union Pacific.
Yeah, Union Pacific owns a railroad. It's like the game of life, right? Okay, you think about properties and whatnot. Okay, well, somebody owns the motherfucking railroad, right? And it's always been Union Pacific. Well, not always, but at least as long as I've been around, right? That I can remember. So this is not like unusual. This is like whatever, right? Trains actively go through. I'm not sure where she said this. This is, but there's active trains, like still cargo trains, still going on the tracks. You know what I mean? We got a whole light rail system. I mean, what the fuck? It's like it's whatever. But there's like 100 of these little tents and shit down, and it's been there. It's been there for like 3 months. So ever since he kicked out, since he kicked out the migrants from the hotels, right? At least probably even right before then, when they're, this is when they kicked them out the first time. And then it was like their time had ran out, and then people started coming there. And then, when they told everybody, and then no one could come over here, or came over here, but there wasn't any resources. Everybody went over there. And, this like the second or third one. Okay, so and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because the news is just kind of spinning it however they want to spin it. But yeah, you shouldn't be living under the bridge. A, B, I can dig it because I can relate. It's not like I haven't done it before, right? But the other part is that, of course, it's on private property. There's going to be some problems. Anytime you have private property and unhoused or whatever you want to call it, in tents on private property, it's going to be an issue. It's always going to be an issue.
Right now, around 100 migrants have been staying at this encampment for more than 2 months, and that includes individuals as well as families with children. So the camp was originally established by that organization called All Souls. The advocate group says that many of the families were previously evicted from apartments after being placed in leases through city-run programs. So in the end, those families couldn't keep up with the rent payments and later came up to this encampment.
See, what did you expect? I mean, like, what did they expect? You didn't have no job when they gave you the place. Like, you didn't have no job. You're not legal to work here. I mean, contrary to what everybody's saying, like this, what they call it, they call them economic migrants or some shit like that. I don't care. It doesn't even matter. But what matters is that the fact that they're trying to, that there's such this big force and everybody's passing through and just getting this little checkpoint shit, and they're getting like little permit or some shit when they pass through. I forgot what they call it. Which I find to be like an utter lie. Like they can't. That's not even possible. And if that is possible, why do the numbers look all funny? You know what I mean? Everywhere you go. So I was like, it's the media. The media spin it any way they want to.
Other organizations like House Keys Action Network have been working with the city on behalf of the people staying at the camp. They made a list of demands, 13 to be exact, and that would include medical visits plus housing supports.
Like, this shouldn't even be first of all, Denver Homeless Out Loud, aka Can't Keys Action Network, whatever the fuck they call it now. It's like the same place, same shit, different name. That's another thing. Like, I feel like that's there to confuse you. If you didn't know the first time what they were, then, now you got the rebranding, and the rebranding is supposed to make you feel like, there's something different or added, or it's just something more beneficial or tangible. And in reality, it's like, just because you got a couple of different people that might be working or might be, they're volunteering their time. They probably speak Spanish, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That means they're of value. But I mean, come on, like you're making demands. Like in my opinion, only, like how can you make fucking demands? You're not even legal here. You're not from here. You're not legal from here. You're not like part of the United States. You're not soil born. I mean, like you don't even got the proper start to even get your citizenship yet. You're just fucking like whatever. I'm here on asylum. Everybody's on asylum, right? So you like, are you serious? Like, crazy.
Families here want some kind of solution, one that they can trust.
Yo no me da garantía que ellos me digan de boca, vamos a...
That they will just from their word that we are going to a shelter. If they don't give me a piece of paper that says they guarantee that I'm going to stay 30 days. Like, first of all, we don't even get the fucking 30-day treatment. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I go right now to a shelter right now. They won't give me 30 days. So wait, maybe I'll do a little expose so you can see. I go 30 fucking days. Yeah, right. They're not gonna give me nothing that says I'm gonna be there 30 days. This is fucking reality. I can't go to, and there's only like one woman shelter here. I can't go to the Samaritan house, right? Downtown. The Samaritan house and go into their shelter overnight, right? They're not gonna give me 30 motherfucking days. I'm gonna have to sit on some sort of lottery program and wait till somebody opens up a bed in their program in the same building. It could take fucking 6 months. It took me forever to get on that program. And basically on some old racist shit, I was out within a week. And half that week I was in the hospital. See what I'm saying? So I mean that's a whole nother Catholic fucking racist type shit that's going on over there on that program. So you got a lottery to do. And over here at this other in Aurora where I'm at, it's only one shelter, two. It's only one shelter here. Okay. And that has a lottery system as well. And let alone it didn't do overnights it really didn't do overnights. It was just kind of like a day shelter. When I was a lot younger and I was a small girl, like teenage girl. You could go in there overnight because they didn't want teenagers running the streets in Aurora, right? But no shit. So they don't give us a guarantee when we go in there that we're gonna have a place to lay our head for 30 days. No. And the men at the rescue mission have to go every single fucking night. Just like the ladies at the Samaritan house got to go every single fucking night, stand in line and hope they can get a bed. Every fucking night. Or stand outside the fucking rescue mission for the gents that got, can't get on the bus or whatever. They have a program for them, overnight. And they got to stand in line or whatever. And then they're disabled. I mean, fuck, they got to get up there somehow, right? So that's not even a guarantee. That's like whatever. The programs there, you got to get on like some sort of lottery. Like you got to get it. You got to stand in line. There's other people waiting too. Stand in line. It's just like that. So right off top, for them to make a fucking demand like that is crazy. We don't even get the fucking guarantee. We don't get the guarantee. So what makes you say that you can have a guarantee when we don't get one first? See, that's where the issue for me is.
Un refugio. Si no me da un papel donde que yo diga, bueno, certifique que yo voy a estar 30 días, un mes, 2 meses en ese refugio. Pero si no me da un comprobante, ¿qué me garantiza a mí que yo voy a durar esos días en el refugio?
She said, what guarantee do I have that I'm going to have shelter for 30 days? Bitch, you got to get it how you live. Like, there's no guarantee. We don't got no guarantees. Like, we just out here. You know what I mean? Real shit. I can go right now to a fucking shelter. Right fucking now. Right? And it will not guarantee me, A, I can get in there. B, I'll have a bed to sleep in or a cot, mattress on the floor, whatever fucking piece of corner of the floor for 30 days. That's reality. That is fucking reality. That is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They can't even get couldn't even get a hotel voucher for 30 motherfucking days. So, so like that's just out of, somebody should have said, well, if they were doing their job, they would have said, Not they would say, let's not put that there because not even our regular unhoused people, because it's the unhoused advocates. So they should have did their job right here. It's where they didn't. This is where they failed, right? To say our regular citizens don't even get that. So like you're asking for the world. No, maybe we try to work. Nope, they're not going to do that because they won't even be considerate of their own residents. Real shit, really, fucking seriously, they will not. You cannot get a fucking guarantee nowhere. You fuck what the mayor's talking about. Okay, trust and believe. Trust and believe. I made 2 fucking appointments. Do you think they're calling me back on some shit like this? No. You think they really hand out? They're really serious about housing people? Sure, in front of the camera, sure. You know, they know the cameras are going to be watching. They planned it out, right? You think that's happening? No, this, no. Tell you what is happening, though. Bullshit. I was going to tell you. I was going to say more, but I just don't feel like tattling too much. Yeah, I don't feel like tattling. Fucking shit's crazy.
The city has offered a 30-day shelter to all families at this encampment. All of those offers were turned down. Families don't necessarily...
See? Look, if they say they were offered 30 days, but you motherfuckers turned it down, like why? There's your guarantee. It's covered on the... First of all, fuckers are stupid. It's covered on the news. That right there is a guarantee. That right there, you could say, look, they said it on Channel 9. You know what I mean? That we got offered a place to live for 30 days. That's my guarantee. Bam, there's your guarantee. I mean, since you're watching the protest anyway, happening at the AURORA campus, I mean, might as well continue to watch the news. I mean, there you have it, right? But first, that's stupid. They weren't paying attention to that slow bus, right?
Necessarily believe that the offer will become reality. Even advocates have different ideas of what's best. So some city leaders are also...
What you mean the offer may not become reality? They're intentionally going to sweep your ass. That means get your tent, get your shit, get your babies, get on the motherfucking bus. They're going to provide a bus because that's how they brought you here, on the bus. So they're going to bring a bus and they park you right there, and everybody who could fit on the motherfucking bus, get on that goddamn bus. If you weren't here and they crushed your shit, they took your shit, sorry about your bad luck, but that's how they're doing it, right? Quiet as kept. What you mean there's no guarantee? Are you planning on fucking up in the midst of your 30-day stay? Because, no, that happens too. Man, getting in some beef or complaining about some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the level of audacity is, like, crazy when it comes to them. Like I'm going to run into it a couple times. Like, first of all, been to a shelter, yeah. Been me. I'm banned from all the shelters in Denver, right? Seriously. Really banned, okay? From going in there. I don't want to get into it. It's not important. Okay, it's not important why right now. But I'm banned, okay? All right, fine. But beggars can't be choosers. So when you're outside, you're cold, hungry, whatever, you'll take whatever. You'll get whatever. You know what I mean? So, the rescue mission provides 3 meals a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Yeah, 3 meals a day. And after 4, I think it's 4 o'clock, maybe it's 4 o'clock, 4:30. Women got to get the fuck up out of there. Then the men go in there. Well, there's men there all day long anyway, but, women have a place to go inside over there. They go into like 4:30, and have a little dinner. It's fucking Christian basis, whatever, man. They get whatever, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. Dude, 90% of the meals I had at the rescue mission were fucking crap. But I didn't say they were crap. I just said, man, you know what I mean? I didn't go on the news and say, man, the rescue mission feed us shit. You know what I mean? What's on the news talking about? Man, rescue all these foods from the shelters. I can't eat them. They're not cultural based. Come on, cuz. I would have loved to say something crazy like that, but I couldn't. I'm from here. You know what I mean? I'm a native of the United States. You think it's the first time I had a shit ass meal? No, it's not. I think it's the first time I've been anywhere. I used to travel all the time, and a couple times I was outside unhoused. Do you think it's the first time I ran into like, man, a fucking cheap ass little non-nutrient fucking salad and some weird ass mystery fucking side corner dish meal and maybe for lucky some bread. You think that? No, man. It's 5 years. That's all I ran into. And then on the weekends, weekends, motherfucking do-gooders come by and they might toss you a burrito or something. I get lucky. Okay, might get lucky, man. My begging for meal skill sets might be on point that day. Who knows, right? Who fucking knows? But I know that you wouldn't catch me on camera saying the rescue mission's food was shit. Cause I'd be lucky if they fucking fed me. First of all, I'm lucky they let me in the door. And for a motherfucker that doesn't for the whole time they were unhoused, didn't have a coat or shoes, I was really lucky when they let me in when there was fucking like 2 feet of snow. So I would have to say that my level of fucking gratitude was profound. This is like, oh, we can't eat this, we can't do this, we can't. Look, you're not even a guest. You're like an uninvited guest. You're like the motherfucker that broke into the crib. And then you want fancy cereal and shit. Like, no, motherfucker, break into somebody else's house. Wrong house. You know what I mean? Poor folk live here. Go somewhere else. That's what I feel like. I feel like you broke into the wrong house. You were expecting frosted flakes, and you got the generic version of cornflakes going on right here. What you gonna do about it? Fuck on out and go find the fancy place. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna continue to do this. This shit is right here. This shit should piss off a lot of Denverites. This should piss off a lot of Denverites because this is happening all over.
Gathering feedback from people at the camp about what they want moving forward. Take a listen.
My plan is to work in partnership with the mayor's office to figure out what we might be able to do to keep folks from being swept, right, to nowhere, right? We don't have anywhere that folks are needing to go. And so working in partnership with the mayor. And
I done told this, bro. I told the council lady, that this is going to be a setup for failure. It's going to backfire, and eventually, white supremacy needs their pawn, and they need their motherfucking their fall guy, scapegoat to fucking whatever, and you're complicit in doing the work of the devil. Shit like that is going to happen. She looked kind of concerned right there. Well, this is another thing that brought me up is like, and I said to her that I said to her in a letter, I don't want to have to think that you're not solid, that you're not like for us, meaning us. I say that because when it came time to me and Jesse showed up at city council. Me and just been watching city council. We watch all the shit that goes on. Sometimes I don't stay for the extra shit that Jesse stays for. Probably because I don't sign up to speak on it, and that's really what he's there for. He signed up already. I didn't do it. I'm barely getting in onto general comment nowadays. But I've seen people protest, especially with this either the Palestine thing or the migrant thing. And I've seen her specifically and a few others go outside and comfort the people, right? Have dialogues and want to act like an open ear or a listening ear, or shoulder to cry on, whatever the fuck, right? Whatever the fuck it is. I've seen it. We've seen it. Okay. And when it came down to it, me and Jesse were feeling quite passionate. Instead of city council, I was going the fuck off. Right? And probably they would not come into the chambers until we were about to leave. But do you think that she was going to talk to us? And there was only me and him there. Everybody else had dipped. But a whole room of motherfuckers, she could come out and chop it up with them and find out what their problems are. And, try to come up with some solutions. But when it comes to me and Jesse, and there's just two of us, not really an issue, she couldn't be bothered. She couldn't be bothered. She might give the universal nod, but that's that. Or when, like when she said, "Oh, I got you," or "Yeah, I could call you." That's not happening. And all you have really is your word. You dig? It's all you have is your word. So when you don't keep your word or you don't act on your word, you become someone you can't be counted on or relied upon. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That really is a thing, and it's a bad look for us, right? Because I was hoping, I was praying, and I told her, like, man, I'm hoping you're not like them. I'm hoping because you align yourself with certain individuals that are not really for us. You know what I mean? Us meaning FBA Denverites. Okay. Um, us meaning, yeah, that's just like I said, FBA Denverites. You don't let the shit deflect the message. That's exactly where I'm on, right? So if you're not for us, then what are you there for? If you're not intentionally going to sit down and help us FBA Denverites, you're not going to help us and or even be remotely fucking in the line of helping. Um, say that. That way you cannot be bothered. That way no one will bother you with their problems that they need help with because you're the councilwoman of that area. You dig? And it would behoove you to work, closely to someone who's running for a particular seat in the same motherfucking district that you're in. Black collaborating with black people. Right? However, not happening. So I was like, all right, well, look, that's how I feel. I don't care how many of the bourgeoisie type band together. At the end of the day, this is bad. Right? So this is a bad look because she looks genuinely concerned, just like she looked genuinely concerned about certain other things. It just don't make sense, right? They're not making sense. But if you called for something or you definitely wanted something done, it was a major motherfucking emergency, like life and death type of situation, and you knew this wasn't out of her purview or something she couldn't do or couldn't get involved with or, remotely pass on to some more qualified individual, then, that person really isn't about what they said they were about, leading to pandering, you know what I mean? And false promises and whatnot, or the illusion of might be stand up or actually decent or, on the right side of things. When in reality, people should just say what they are, get it out the way. Like lately, how dominant societies do it. They're making it very clear how they are. You know what I mean? So therefore, you should be just as clear about what you are so that nobody like us can get the misunderstanding up here thinking that you might be decent. See, and that goes for the mayor too. I was saying this. Why would you let somebody who fucked up, who was contributing member of fucking up a certain area of town and leaving it in a certain condition, even if you came after the fact that it started, still left with said individual, left around the same time as said individual from the community perspective, right? And left the shit like a ghost town, dead inside. You know what I mean? So what would you think was going to happen with the city? Just curious questions. Just shit, the motherfucker like me would think about because they actually seen the shit with their own eyes of when it was one time when a certain area was really thriving and you could see people and children outside and shit was just moving around great till then there was like a whole destruction of the shit. Whole collapse, a whole breakdown, a whole fucking now you don't even barely see children running around the area. Let alone elders. I mean, the shit's just there's no businesses really thriving there. And if they are, they're very few. Just turn into a really high crime velocity area. Like it's just terrible. But what did you think? What would anybody with common sense think the city was going to look like after the fact? Right? After common sense would just say it's going to be just like that. So I don't have any faith in this whole this new cabinet and the mayor. And I was hoping she was gonna do better. And I'm already disappointed. Just majorly, like, you know what I mean?
His administration, to figure out what resources we might be able to bring to the folks who just want to stay together here. So that company, that private company that owns this property, Union Pacific, they actually released a statement. I'm going to read it to you guys. In that statement, they said, quote, it was working to address unsafe and illegal camping activities on their property, especially so close to the railroad tracks. So I'm going to have my photographer kind of show you where those tracks, those train tracks are located. They're very close to that encampment. You can see those fences are up right next to that train tracks. Again, that sweep is happening right now at 8 a.m. Again, we have seen DPD officers, both marked vehicles, unmarked vehicles, a big dumpster just arrived on scene. We've seen a couple of people come out with their belongings. But again, it looks like our reporter who covered this yesterday, she said that there was a lot more action here. There was a lot more tents, and it looks like there's less tents this morning. So it looks like people are leaving. Exactly where, that's still the big question. For now, I'm live in Denver. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
Brianna, you can understand. I mean, the railroad tracks are right there. That can be an unsafe condition as well. And when you guys were zooming in, we could see that there were several kids in this encampment. And just to be clear, they were offered shelter, but they did turn it down.
Yeah, they did turn it down. The city says that they have been trying to give them resources, but it's been hard because of the advocates. So it's a lot of back and forth between the city and the advocates. And like you guys mentioned, there is children here on scene. I've seen them riding their bikes. They're close to that encampment. Again, we're pretty far back because DPD asked us to move here because they needed to put the fences up, and they said the heavy machinery was coming. Now that heavy machinery already left. Like I said, all we're seeing right now is that dumpster that's ready to go inside to the encampment here.
Such a complicated situation. We appreciate the update. Thank you, Brianna.
Inflation sucks. So why not do something about it? Starting your business is a game changer. And you can start one today for
There could be a lot. Shout out to
maybe more have passed through. We expect about 80,000 a year in some beautiful hotels and now revisiting. They've destroyed soccer fields over at Randall's Island. But it's easy to forget other cities, smaller proportion, Denver leading the charge, actually have it worse than New York. You know what? And this story is going to have you scratching your head. I think these migrants who have set up an encampment. You mean newcomers? Right, the migrant newcomers who set up the encampment under that bridge in Denver. I think they've been watching cable TV because they've obviously been watching the protesters at college campuses. And what do all the protesters want? They've got a list of demands. You want us to, stop protesting? We've got a list of demands. So you've got about 100 of these migrants, the newcomers.
Look, man, this is fucking out.
They put out a list to the mayor of 30.
Fucking crazy. Look, first of all, if he honors any of this shit, I mean, it's bad enough going off all the time, but oh my god, it's going to get worse. When we were unhoused, put out the same motherfucking list every month. Went and try to fucking get our demands to be, to be, first of all, the can't be banned to be lifted. The whole unhoused situation, man. Every fucking month having these regular meetings to make a list of demands of what we want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Man, Jesse was on. He could kind of attest to that because he'll remember better. But when it was Denver Homeless Out Loud, it's same shit, same people, same name, different fucking, or same people, same shit, different branding of a name. Okay, I have my opinions. I keep my shit to myself. Now, so I find, like I said, like, man, you don't get to ask for shit. No, you don't get to ask for shit. Like, in before us. You know what I mean? You don't get nothing. Like, shouldn't have shit happen before we do. You see what I'm saying? Like, we meaning unhoused, or like, I'll still consider that. Anything can happen in my fucking place. I could be outside right now. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. And I used to tell people that everybody was one check away from being unhoused. And it's a reality. It's a reality. People very close to me that literally have jobs and are unhoused. Lots of people. I know a lot of people like that. So it's you can't live here right now, currently. So if we can't make demands and get our demands met, you shouldn't be able to. I feel like, although every other agenda seems to get stuff passing, Let's get stuff to pass for them, and this our particular shit does not. You know what I mean? What's it?
13 demands they've got to get if they wanted the city to get them out of there. And you know what? Apparently they're caving because 100 left.
Yeah, gosh, look at some of these demands. Food with fresh, culturally appropriate ingredients, no pre-made meals. They want shower access without time limits, medical professionals.
Yeah, right.
You can't kick people out of housing after 30 days without something stable established.
Yes, you
they want a free immigration lawyer. They want employment support. No more law enforcement monitoring 24/7 in the shelters. Transportation for kids to and from school.
What their mayor, but Mayor has allowed this to happen because he's a liberal mayor who thinks to come one, come all. Now this city, which was struggling anyway, is now on its heels, and they're trying to get this eyesore and this problem out of their way. It's costing people money. It's costing people access to roads. And now they want to, in the perfect world, pack up and send them to New York. Well, here's the thing. On that list, Avery, you mentioned they want shower access without time limits. They want unlimited showers. The migrants said, we are not in the military. We are civilians. We want to be able to take our time.
First of all,
and here's the thing.
there's only like one or two places that, like maybe one or two places that actually offers showers during the day. Maybe three. Maybe I'm going to say that. We'll just say it's under 5. Okay. Right. Let's say under 5. They have like little day programs that you probably could take a shower in. I know maybe two for sure, right? They're little day programs, little day shelters. Okay. You're not in there like unlimitedly just taking up all the water. No, you're not. First of all, we wouldn't allow that shit. We treat this shit like jail. Like, hey, you've been in there too long. You know? Come on, man. Like, we treat it like jail. That's why you think you're going to get a motherfucking lengthy-ass fucking shower with an asshole like me right behind you? Fuck no. Right, that's off top. I'm just keeping it honest. No. Fuck no. That's not happening. I give a fuck. I'll be like, hey, you've been in there way too long. It's only been 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes too motherfucking long. Get the fuck up out of there. Real shit. I treat it like jail. Okay? That goes for the phone. That goes for meals. I mean, that's for everything. Like, that's how we treat it, you know, because that's how it's conditioned upon us. So you think we're gonna be sitting up there waiting for you to wash your motherfucking ass and then wash your fucking your kid's ass, and then we're gonna wait for that to happen so that you could drag your ass to go get dressed? No, motherfucker, we treating it like jail. Hurry the fuck up. You know, you're not the only motherfucker in here. You're not the only one that needs a shower. We're out there some days like fucking a long time without a shower. You know what I mean? Because get there, there's a line. There's already a line. You know, and that could be as soon as the door opens, the fucker's right there in the shower. Just like jail. Think about it like that if you've ever been in jail. As soon as the door opens, bam. You barely make it to the shower. There's already 4 motherfuckers in there. 3 are in the shower. 1's waiting, kicking their little shoes like, just like that. So yeah, no, you think you're a limited shower in a fucking in the shelter? Slap yourself. That's stupid. That would never happen. You're gonna have motherfuckers like me being like, hurry the fuck up. Nah, I done moved your shit. Let's go. Yeah, I can handle it. What's cracking? I did. I moved your shit. Now get the fuck up out of there. You've been in there for fucking 5 minutes too long. Hurry the fuck up. Who said you could stand here? Hurry up. Do what you need to do. Get the fuck up out of here. Yeah, I'd be like that. And there's like 1,000 of us like that. Just like jail. Why? Because we want to take a shower too. There's a sense of motherfucking. It feels like the whites feel entitled when they go up in there, right? It's always like, and from my experience, I done got many scraps in the motherfucking shower, guys, over the shower, many, and because I was in a wheelchair too. Fuck that, nah, man. Yeah, everybody get it. I don't give a fuck. Right? You're not gonna rush me, and you're sure as fuck not gonna touch me or touch my shit. And that's how I feel about it. And that's how, because I was getting like older bitches like to fuck with me too much, and I'm not having it. Like those days, I was a little kid when that shit could happen. Those days are over with. But to see somebody standing in line, taking longer than everybody else because think we're unhoused. We're unhoused. You know, we kind of have an understanding that treat it like jail and hurry the fuck up and get the fuck up out of there. Why? Because everybody's testy. Everybody's really agitated. Everybody's like on edge already. And then when you go in there, you're like vulnerable. You're vulnerable. So you don't want to be in there that long anyway. Fuck if the water feels great. You don't want to be in there anyway that long because you're vulnerable to all sorts of fuck shit to happen. Then you're out there causing problems in the street. Motherfucker, you decide you want to take a shower. I got a problem with you. But I'm fucking you up. I'm fucking you up. Get the fuck out of there. I got to go too. Because the cameras, peace. I'm out. You hear it? Why? Because that's just the way it happens. Treat it like jail. You know what I mean? If you haven't been to jail, I guess your shit should in for a wide awakening. You know, like that's just the way it is. There's no fucking leeway when it comes to certain shit, because as soon as the doors open for the day, people are already going to the resources. They're going to the shower. They're going to the motherfucking food line. They're going to the phone. They're going to the front desk where you can do chores for necessities like you know, toiletries and paper, whatever the fuck you need, right? A fucking new pair of clothes because you need some hygiene products, feminine hygiene products, etc., etc. So the lines are fucking busy, and you gotta stand in them. And there's other people. As soon as you get there, you could think you got there early, and you just been chopping it up with everybody outside because you know you're just a social type of motherfucker, right? Right. As soon as that fucking door is open, everybody's rushing to the door. It's like they're already in there. They're getting the little ID scan because they give us little special IDs. Little ID scan, beep, and you already know where you're going. And that line moves fast because that motherfucker ain't playing. It's like beep, 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 beep. You know, everybody's just getting full. Then you got motherfuckers in there slow dragging. You know, so yeah, that shit right there, without time limits, fuck that'll never happen. And if it does happen, I'm gonna shut that down. I'm gonna potentially be an asshole and shut that down because that's wrong. Regular visits from medical professional, visits and referrals to specialty care. Look, they already bankrupt our fucking indigent hospital. We have an indigent hospital. That's what, you know, we call it something else, but we have a hospital that's meant for the poor. And you know, that's what I say, the poor. Anybody can go to that hospital, right? Yeah, they just run the news back. They damn near, they already bankrupted it, damn near. The doctors take care of all these people. You know, then there's no Medicaid to pay them. There's no insurance. You know, so they're stuck. And because, you know, they're doctors and shit, and this is a hospital that, you know, provides care that doesn't believe in turning anybody away, which is why the poor, like i.e. myself, go to that said hospital. You know what I mean? Especially when I was out more so in that direction. You know, be over there. I remember when we straight used to call it the death hospital. Motherfuckers just died there. And they got better doctors, and the shit started moving around better, and nobody died there after a while. They just started becoming better. You know, babies were born better over there. Lots of things were better after you know, first couple of 10, 15 years, you know. Let's see. Cannot kick people out without housing. Can't kick people out housing after 30 days without something stable and established. Look, they don't give a fuck. They've been kicking out motherfuckers out the shelters forever. Okay, like just recently, like maybe say maybe 6 years ago, they closed down one transitional shelter or whatever. Had mostly men there. And these brothers were like, I just barely got my life together. I'm going to school. I'm at a job. I'm sick. I'm this and that. I'm getting myself together. I have a few months in, you know. Then they really cleaned up and really doing something with their life. These motherfuckers didn't give a fuck. They sent them right back out on the street. And what happened? They went right back to the men's shelter and have to take the bus and wait every goddamn day to get back in there. Sometimes they can't even get in there. So they went from safety and stability from coming from being outside in the street and surrounded by nothing but, crime and degeneracy and fucking who knows what else, environmental circumstances and who knows, right? To fucking stability, able to get cleaned up, get their lives together, get themselves little programs, start their schooling or whatever they wanted to do, got a good job, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of a sudden, bam, right back out on the street. Lost a job, lost schooling, you know what I mean? Homelessness again, round 20. You know what I mean? That's what happened. And they were doing this all over. So I feel like the mayor, he was pandering. He was pandering, and we said that. And he's just enabling. He's propagating unhoused situations, enabling the homelessness, creating homelessness. What I mean to say, creating homelessness. Like you clean it up just for the sake of whatever, and then you throw everybody else out. Like nobody's paying attention to that. That kind of seems a little odd to just me. It's fucked up. So I feel like, in my opinion, it's creating homelessness now at this point. And it doesn't matter how many tiny little shelters he built or whatever the fuck he's talking about, because we all know where he took those ideas and just made them uglier, reversed them. He's now creating unhoused situations, creating this kind of ugly shit. Instead of fixing it, he's creating it now. Allowing it to go on and then be on the news doing other shit. It's fucking ridiculous. That's it.
Because currently, the migrants get rent and food assistance for 6 months and free legal advice. So it's like they're getting all that stuff. And Ainsley, one of the things was transportation for kids to and from schools. So obviously they're winding up with an education. The migrants are going to Denver because there's a lot that they can get for free. And now they want more.
They said, we're not criminals. Don't treat us like we're criminals. But didn't they break the law to get here?
And also they go, we don't want the sheriff sleeping amongst us in the shelters. We want to be left alone. I love the use of the word newcomers. The city must...
Yeah, that shit is bullshit. You gotta say it what it is, And the reality is, this love motherfucking this illegal aliens, because we could call them that any other time. I mean, I've been alive for 44 fucking years because this is the first time I ever heard them be called newcomers. They weren't called refugees or motherfucking anything else. They're talking about these motherfuckers that just bomb rush the borders. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I need to retract those videos where they're coming in like 8,000 deep and they got a pass coming like that. 8,000 deep. That's a lot. And they all can just get through it, and they're good. They made an app that I feel like that app was created all the way this year. It wasn't created before that so they could come in. I don't remember they were talking about this legend app. Yeah, come on now. Motherfuckers are tripping. They're asking for a lot. I'm like, I'd say
with the mayor and those directly involved in running the newcomer program as soon as possible. They're not newcomers. They're illegal immigrants who have no right to be here. And because of these
swept a second after the migrants moved. Close to 100 people were staying at the first camp, located on private property in Central Park. When they moved, the city swept in again. 9 News reporter Angeline McCall has been following this all day for us. Angeline, some only accepted shelter after a compromise.
Central Park is over there by Jesse's house. It's right around the corner from my house. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, it took a lot of bargaining for migrants to accept shelter. A lot of people didn't want that shelter option because they just felt like they couldn't get a guarantee from the city as to what would happen. And so many of them came to this
If we don't get one, you don't get one.
Sort of off of Pena Boulevard. And so you'll see behind me, this is what's left of the second encampment. This is where people came when they were originally swept from the initial location, which was in Central Park, sort of by the railroad. It was on railroad property, which is what prompted that city sweep. Now, people were really frustrated with the arrangement earlier this morning, to the point where one man who left his family in Venezuela to work here in the United States said that he was so at his wit's end that he wanted to take a bus ticket out of the city.
We were tired. I made the decision to leave because if you search, you will find. I can't live on the street in all the time like this. I have a family. I just can't.
Yo no puedo estar todo el tiempo viviendo en la calle así. Yo tengo familia. No puedo.
Oscar was at the original location, then moved to the second location. But when police came to kick him out, that is when he said he had enough. That's when he said that he wanted that bus ticket. Afterwards, however, the city changed those terms. So in the end, he and everyone else at this second camp decided to take up the offer. And now all of them are in a Denver shelter this evening.
Oh, today we were really strongly encouraging folks to come inside for everyone's safety, especially the safety of the children.
First of all, they didn't give no fucks about our children. They'd be like, you ain't gotta be begging us to fucking bring the kids inside. They could be like, you just come inside. Please, just do it for the kids. Yeah, right. Fucking kids have been called on. There's been a car that pulled up, motherfucker with a clipboard talking about, they've gotten reports that me and my children have been outside for longer than 3 days. They done made up some shit and motherfucking kids all starved and malnutrition and they haven't been going to school. Why aren't they in school? That's gonna be like the first thing. Do they have their vaccinations? Why aren't they in school? Why aren't you 100 fucking questions? 100 fucking questions. Okay, it's gonna start with your children. Like, do they have vaccinations? Why aren't they in school? Do they know how to read? Everything's gonna get all bad. And for the best interest of the children, since you're out here, we might as well just take them in and they'll be well fed and they can start school and you can work on getting yourself together and then we'll give them back, but you never get them back. You know what I mean? That's how it works out. Like he said, they're begging these people to go inside, right? And I don't see for when you're in Denver, right, or you're outside, it's a likelihood that anytime they come around offering you something, it's a fucking lie. Because you live in the city, so you know that half the shit that's said on the news is probably like maybe 2% truth to it. The rest of it is fucking lies. It's lies. It's not even real. It's like, what? They did what? Yeah, right. I wish. Me and Jesse proved that shit during the election or the campaign, during his campaign. They didn't know, the house wasn't getting any news about anything. When COVID happened, they definitely weren't getting any fucking news about that. They were like, what? We can go where? What do you mean? Nobody was getting any news. Nobody was reaching out and talking to the unhoused, talking about you can get vaccinations and whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? No, so it's a lie. We knew it. So then they can't rely on that. They can't say, oh, that we need a guarantee. No, man, you live here. You can say that. You have every right to say that, you don't believe anything they say. You don't believe anything that the politicians are saying here in the city because it's a fucking truth. They epically are fucking lying or doing something on the camera just to act like they're doing something. But there was whole years where they didn't barely even come down and never talk to anybody. People would be on a list. I was on a list for fucking 5 years, 6 years. The fucking most vulnerable test. You know what I mean? All this shit was they no. At that point, even when I went in, I didn't believe anything they said. I honestly did not believe it. I had the possibility of having 2 vouchers at that point. And I didn't believe anything they said. Why? Because they lie too much. Too much. And I'm a citizen. I know when people are lying. I can tell when the news is lying. I can tell when motherfuckers come by and they're over there spying or doing some old operative fucking activity. I can feel it. It's like, no, hell no. No, something serious had to happen for me to go inside. I mean, really serious. Really fucking serious.
Solution is to bring them inside for a meaningful length of time with very strong case management to help every family and the individuals make a plan that's appropriate for their situation.
That meaningful length of time, the city initially offered single adults here alone 3 days. They upped it to 7 days. Families get 30 days that remain unchanged. However, we know the cycle continues. We know that this is not the only encampment that was set up from that original location, and so many of them are still on the streets tonight. That cycle continues. I've spoken to one woman actually, and I met her back in October. She was on the street at that point at the Zunai encampment, and she remains on the street tonight as well. And as far as I know, she's been in 4 other encampments since then.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's following them from place to place to place. None of them where you would want to live or stay.
Hold on, I'll be right back, family. Just 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I ran in to chop it over my brother for 2 seconds. Now I'm back. All right, let's go to the next one.
At Vistaprint, we print everything to show off your brand. So you can print it like Simon's Restaurant and outfit your whole team. Or you can print it like Vegan Cafe Jaja and give your fans more ways to grab your brand. Print it like jewelry designer Kirsten and find a way to get noticed.
A large encampment near Denver's Elitch Gardens has officially been cleared out. The city moved dozens of immigrants from Central and South America into shelter.
But as Denver 7's Christian Lopez shows us, most of them are no longer in shelters.
We were just here Wednesday as the city of Denver was clearing out dozens of tents near Elitch Gardens. It's all empty now, but now most of them are back on the street just hours later in a new location in Denver. And while we were out here talking to them, things escalated.
Llegamos a un acuerdo para irnos pacíficamente.
Willie Bastida says they had all agreed to leave peacefully. But things took a turn when he wasn't allowed in the shelter.
Sale uno, salen todos.
He said an altercation broke out Wednesday night, causing dozens of them to leave and set up a new camp.
Have you guys, the other set up their retail?
While we were there,
It's going to be a crime scenario.
things took a turn again. Within minutes, the area was swarmed with police officers and city officials.
On this side of the table.
So what is going on here right now? Why is there so much police presence here?
It's really just for safety. It's only just for safety.
Trying to
That's what it
convince them
sounded
to
like.
go back to shelter. Homeless advocate Amy Beck said she didn't agree with their approach.
The city could actually de-escalate the situation right now. Rather than enforcement, we need to actually just have a conversation with them. They're telling them that they have to move from here, but they are on public property and they require a 7-day posted notice.
We were hearing that they are being forced to leave right now. Is that accurate or no?
It's just an advisement. They're being told, hey, you can't camp here. You need to know this. You also need
I
to know
can't
this.
ask
We're
for
offering
that.
space in the congregate side of the city.
While the city
That's
says
how
they
they're-
were only given written warnings. What's going through your mind? ¿Qué está pensando ahorita?
Muchas cosas, la verdad.
Some told us they were threatened with more than that and decided to leave the area. They say all they're asking for is a real solution.
Trato de ver que esta gente, en fin, de verdad, tengan algo, pero algo que sea
Like
una
you're supposed
solución de verdad y real.
In Denver,
It's
Christian
amusing as
Lopez,
fuck.
Denver 7.
A little can go a long way. Your donation, no matter how big or small, goes far and wide to
It's a crisis. Physicians at Denver Health telling us they treat everyone who comes to the ER, regardless of immigration status or ability to pay. But they're struggling to handle a spike in migrant patients.
It's really, really hard to take care of them, both in terms of their inability to pay, but also just the sheer volume of patients that we weren't expecting.
Denver has a population of 700,000 people. In just the last year, nearly 40,000 migrants have arrived. The mayor declaring a state of emergency. More than 8,000 migrants have come to Denver Health for care, and most of that is coming out of the hospital's pocket. The hospital says they need more help from federal and state government to pay for over $10 million in unpaid migrant medical bills so far. Outside a shelter, we meet Mary Anise and her 3 sons. She's being treated here for Parkinson's. I'm very grateful. In my country, it was very difficult. We were not able to get medicine for my condition, she said. Emergency room pediatrician Dr. Christy Rodriguez says they want to give patients the care they need, but they need funding, with the hospital facing a breaking point. Is this an emergency here?
I think it's about to be. I think this isn't sustainable how it is right now.
Meanwhile, Denver's public schools are also scrambling to keep up, with nearly 3,000 new migrant students.
So we've had around 100, which makes about 20% now of our student body.
Principal Brian Clark's school now receives
overwhelming
5
the whole
students per week, what they used to get in an entire year. Now some classes have hit the 35 student limit. So some students have had to be transferred to other
that
schools.
was too many people.
February 5th, the city says they'll start restricting stays on migrants in shelters and helping people obtain work authorization.
It's a very lengthy, very complicated process, and new immigrants are not the only ones struggling through it. Some non-citizens and mixed status families also face these challenges. So a mixed status family has some members who are U.S. citizens, some who are not. And now an effort to expand work authorization.
It's that shit I was talking about one day.
Denver 7's Jessica Crawford joins us tonight.
The migrant
strengthen Colorado's workforce.
migrant workfare.
So according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were nearly 9 million job openings across the country as of January. Some people are hoping that those jobs can be filled by giving non-citizens and mixed status families more pathways to employment.
No.
But that's not the only change they're asking for.
President Biden, stop the screws from being turned against us further.
Tired of the possibility of being torn apart.
We came this morning to ask Senator Bennett to bring out a petition for redress to President Biden.
The families you see here gathered outside of Senator Michael Bennett's office Wednesday in support of a letter to the president requesting protections for families blended with U.S. citizens and non-citizens. And some
Man, if they haven't done that in all these fucking years, dude, they should do it now.
The law must punish American families this way.
Senator Michael Bennett, along with several other U.S. lawmakers, signed off on a letter to
They didn't do this before. They should do it now.
non-citizen spouses of U.S. citizens to be allowed to work while their green card cases are pending. To develop a
That could be
process
10
to
years.
allow non-U.S. citizens with citizen spouses to seek parole on a case-by-case basis instead of always using a one-size-fits-all process.
Why not?
Protections for non-U.S. citizens who are caregivers to their families.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for being with us. And my first question is, what resources generally do you feel like you need from the federal government right now amid this surge in migrants?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, I think we have been pushing really hard that there are 3 key items we need right now. We definitely need the Congress to take action on $1 for support for cities. That's key. I think the second is we need more work authorization for folks that are arriving to our cities. The biggest issue is we have folks here who want to work and are not able to work. And the third is we need their help on a plan for coordinated entry. So we don't have just the governor of one state deciding where all newcomers go, but actually a coordinated plan nationwide for all of our cities and states to be a part of the solution. And we think those 3 things can actually help us be very successful. We just need those 3 things from Congress to be able to succeed here at the city level.
You've been pushing on the issue of work authorization specifically for some time now. You asked the White House last month for more authorizations. Have you gotten any response from the Biden administration or any indication that increased authorizations might be part of the negotiations that are going on in D.C. around this border issue?
We're working hard at it. I think they understand it and see it. I met with Secretary Mayorkas months ago, and that was before he then took the step to grant temporary protective status for Venezuelans that came before July 31. That was a tremendous help for many of our Venezuelan newcomers who arrived in August and September. The challenge is now, we have 4,500 migrants in shelter tonight in Denver. We are the single largest recipient of migrants per capita of any city in America. And almost all of those folks that have arrived now don't have access to that temporary protective status. So
Want to start a business? I can show you how easy it is to form one in just a few steps.
That's what I was saying. Hey, it's all. I don't know any men that are tall. I know men that are I was over there, kept out at the tent over there. And the club opened up the weekend. Oh, you're right. The club opened. Little Caesar. You gotta catch the most happening now. It's over here by my area. My side of town. I take it back up this side. That's not the other side. It's like driving down Colfax. Put it back on the leave this here. She's early. Throw me back out, calling all hours of the night. That man. Actually, it's out of the mood for real, bro. Every like fucking prisoner in my own goddamn house last night. Oh, you'll see. Tuesday. Back out there. Anything says, now. So, but focus on your shit. Like I said, I'm prepare myself. Because it is as not really migrants, as a regular resident, as a regular Denverite, rather than that. As a regular Denverite. Like some of this stuff, like this right here, that place right there, they wouldn't let you be right there. You know what I mean? Like not right there, like on that particular side, but there's a lot of little hiding spots, like that must be downtown. Oh my god, dude, I hate it. I hate having a regular man wheelchair. It's like all over. One end of town to the next, or one end to like West Colfax to East Colfax. That's just crazy. Just by myself. The great buildings, Section 8 housing.
The largest all custom design manufacturer of
Just like I really taking the camping ban seriously, but that's the rest. You tell these are regular Denverites. I get tired of being harassed. So, like shit. Right. So. Everybody's been moving around, so some people went in. Ready to go inside. Or the rest of it. Should be open. It looks like it should be open already. The rescue mission opens when it's dark outside, so if I have a watch, I would think it open at like 5 a.m. 4:30, 5 a.m. This could be after like 4:32. It's weird. Can't tell what time it what part of the day is. How many times I don't put a tit right here? Oh. You don't do that though. Anymore. How many times they had to move me around from around there? Yeah, there's something there where the other side where we just last time. It's not maybe it's like the other side of it. It wasn't long because I need to tell you about it. I don't know the name of the street. I just know that it's behind the shelter. That's why Jesse's. That's why Jesse does. They have these little fucking charging port station things, right? But you can't charge a power chair. You can charge a motherfucking car. They make everything accessible for electric whatever, but not a electric power chair. Yes, look at that. Let's see. Believe this.
More migrants are off the streets of Denver and in city-funded shelters. It comes after sweeps of 2 encampments in one day today. Fox 31's Rogelio Mars live with how the city convinced migrants to ditch the tents and move indoors. New here at 9. Rogelio.
Yeah, Jeremy, the city swept up these encampments and encouraged folks to get into shelters. That's pretty much their typical MO. That's not always effective, though, which is why we see these camps reappear. But that changed today after the city offered even more help.
We were trying to resolve the encampment this morning. We found that pretty much everyone or most of the people there had dispersed overnight.
A group of migrants left this encampment under Central Park Boulevard Tuesday night. Some took the offer of shelter from the city.
There were a few families still there. We offered them shelter and they took it. So we had around 18 people go into shelter this morning, all of them families.
The remaining migrants moved their encampment here under the A line near Pena Boulevard in Far East Denver. The city then swept up that camp, but not without adjusting their offer to these folks.
This time we said for the singles, the individuals without kids, we said, how about 7 days in shelter? It'll be a hotel shelter. 7 days, aggressive case management.
Singles had previously only been offered 72 hours in a city-funded shelter.
Getting a full week with case management is a huge win.
Migrant advocates called it a win. The city has often been at odds with these folks who are voluntarily offering their own guidance to the migrants.
I think it can cause some problems when you have, multiple factions running an encampment or something along those lines. We saw that happen, and it caused a lot of confusion, and there were a lot of people who felt like they were being torn different ways.
With the encampment cleared out and migrants migrants off the streets, all sides are hoping they'll start to earn their own keep.
With intensive case management, there is a good chance that many of them will get housed and be able to stay in our community.
No, there isn't. Stop lying. No,
So those advocates told us some migrants actually left that second encampment and are presumed to be somewhere on the streets here in the metro. No word if the city intends to monitor those individuals. We're live in Denver. Rogelio Matas, Fox 31.
All right, Rogelio, thank you. Let's
be real.
Okay, Tom, this is the Hearst Let's Go lightning round. You ready?
It's not realistic at all. It's not fair. Not even close.
Migrants living in a camp near railroad tracks in Central Park got swept this morning, and they moved to a second spot, and the city immediately swept them again. Our Angeline McCall joins us now from Green Valley Ranch. Angeline, you were literally following the migrants as they moved today.
Yeah, 3 locations, in fact, from that original encampment here to this second encampment. And then all of them here, they eventually took that shelter option from the city because the city changed the terms, increased the length of stay that they could stay at a shelter. So this is what's left as of right now. You can see advocates have taken down the tents. There were about, I would say, roughly 40 people here and 20 tents in total when we arrived. Like you mentioned, the original encampment was in Central Park. This is in Green Valley Ranch. And when we got here and the migrants were already here, police arrived, people were incredibly frustrated to the point that we spoke with one gentleman. He has a family back in Venezuela. He came here to work, and he said that he was at his wit's end and wanted to accept an offer from the city for a bus ticket out of town.
Estamos cansados. Por eso es que tomo la decisión de irme, porque el que busca encuentra. Yo no puedo estar todo el tiempo viviendo en la calle así. Yo tengo familia. No puedo.
Oscar was at the original location, then moved to the second location.
In Chicago, migrant shelters are overwhelmed. The city is struggling now to find more housing. And New York City is leaning on hotels to help house the thousands of migrants coming to the Big Apple in recent months. And then to the south, Atlanta is hitting its breaking point. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution says lines of migrants at the Atlanta ICE office are unprecedented. Georgia had the 7th highest number of new immigration cases in the country in 2022 and 23, but has no shelters for the new arrivals. Atlanta area immigration lawyer Charles Cuck says he has not seen something like this in 25 years. Charles Cuck is joining us now to talk more about it. Sir, thank you. More than you've seen in 25 years, and this is what you do for a living as an immigration attorney. Why are they coming to Atlanta, first of all?
Atlanta is now one of the primary stops for immigrants in the United States. You can actually trace that back to the Olympics in 1996, when the idea was to bring the world to Atlanta, and they came. And they never went home. Atlanta has experienced an unprecedented building boom, an unprecedented population growth here. And as a result, immigrants come here.
And now we've got long lines, we've got tents on the streets. How have you seen it with your own eyes impact your city?
Well, what's interesting about this in Atlanta, the article from the Journal-Constitution really talks about the people that are reporting to the ICE office as a result of having come across the border. So they're actually trying to comply with the law because ICE, unfortunately, is understaffed for the volume of people that have come across and that are being put into removal proceedings. The interesting thing about these lines is that they are people that want to comply with the law after coming into the country unlawfully. So they're trying to get right into the system that they are. The one thing we're really not seeing here are tents in our downtown area. We're not seeing the things you see in New York and Chicago because most of the immigrants in metro Atlanta aren't in the city of Atlanta. They're out in the suburbs where most of the immigrants live and the family members are. So we're not seeing the videos that you see for other cities. It's just not the way Atlanta is physically structured. But the interesting play here is people want to try to get right with the law, but the system itself is broken.
Broken and backlogged, right?
Oh, it's terrible. They just announced a couple of days ago that the number of people in removal proceedings is now at removal is deportation, is now at 3.5 million. When Trump left office, it was 1.2 million. And so there are likely another 1 million to 2 million people that are going to be put into deportation in the next 6 months. But the number of judges has increased by about 40%. I mean, the system itself, without a fix to the law, is just broken. We're not going to be able to deport our way out of this problem.
It's just a mess. And you talk about the people who want to follow the law, to go through the process legally. Georgia recently passed a law requiring local law enforcement to identify and arrest illegal immigrants. What has the implementation of that law looked like?
Actually, the Georgia law does not do that. That's the Iowa law, the Texas law, the Florida law. The Georgia law was actually targeted towards law enforcement officials, requiring them to detain people in their custody for ICE, but only after they're arrested in the normal course of activity. It did not authorize them or allow them to simply arrest people like Texas is supposedly going to do, or Florida, for being undocumented. There is that fear in the community because of what's happening nationwide. But the Georgia law is really targeted as a result of the murder of the UGA student towards the police, and the police actively cooperating with ICE when that's possible. So the measure from our state legislature didn't go quite as far as other states have gone.
There's no easy fix here, but what do you think would be the first right move to address this issue?
Well, I mean, if there was easy fixes, I think we would have fixed it long ago. I mean, the clear issue here is the ability of our system to absorb people that our system allows in. And I mean, when I say that, it's because when you come to the border, whether you come at a port of entry or if you cross illegally, you have a legal right to ask for asylum and to be able to stay until that asylum case is heard. The Trump administration tried to get around that by deporting people, and the courts kept striking it down. The reality is only legal changes, only Congress can make these, are possible here. And these are things such as limiting the number of people that can apply for asylum within a certain period of time, increasing the punishments for unlawful border crossing. But only Congress can do that. The president doesn't have a magic wand to fix this problem.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Willy-nilly like we do over here. And if you would do that, like we're doing here.
Realtor.com is the only site that lets you find homes with assumable mortgages. So you could take over the seller's mortgage at a lower.
As many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this.
Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We're live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you can see and hear me clearly, please drop a 1 in the live chat. And as I'm waiting for the ones to come in, if you haven't already, please hit the like button, because that's the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or if you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, a lot of ghost watchers out there, please hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure to share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends. Inform them of this news and information. And it does also give me a slight little bit of a boost in the YouTube algorithm also. So do me a favor and do that as well. And now that I see the ones are coming into the stream, let's get today's show started. Let's get today's show started. So I'm sure many of you saw the title of today's video. Obviously you did, right? You know, before you clicked on it. And if I remember what the title of today's video is, the title of today's stream is Biden stated that migrants are the reason the U.S. economy is currently thriving. This is what he said recently in a discussion that he had with a group. I believe it was Asian Americans, in a conversation that he had with them. But what was interesting about that conversation is that in an attempt to justify the migrant crisis that's happening now, because that's indeed what he was doing. That's what he was attempting to do. In my opinion, I assume, right? In his attempt to do that, he thoroughly offended our allies in Japan and India by referring to them as being xenophobic. Yeah, we refer to our allies as being xenophobic in an attempt to justify open borders and the migrant crisis that's happening here in this country. So let's get into that right now. I want to get into that right now. I want to pull this article up for you guys, a couple of articles. We're going to go through maybe about 3 of them. And hopefully I will have time to get to some extra information that will bleed into tomorrow's stream as well. But let's get into the crux of what we're really here for right now. If I'm using that word correctly, crux? I don't know. It sounded good in my head. I'm not sure if that's correct. It might be. But anyways, let's start with this article here. And also, as usual, the links to everything you see on your screen right now will be in the description box below if you'd like to read these articles independent of my commentary. And I suggest that you do. I think that that's very important because I don't read everything that's in these articles, right? I cut a lot out sometimes, like I am today, just to get through things rather quickly and to highlight certain points. But now what I want to do is highlight the point that I was making at the top of the stream, right? How Biden called out our allies that we need in Japan and India, and refer to them as xenophobic in an attempt to justify the current migrant crisis that's happening here in this country. So let's get into it. President Joe Biden has called Japan and India xenophobic countries that do not welcome immigrants. I repeat, President Joe Biden has called Japan and India xenophobic countries that do not welcome immigrants, lumping the two with adversaries, China and Russia, as he tried to explain their economic circumstances and contrasted the four with the U.S. on immigration. Essentially what he stated, and I believe I'm going to read that further in this article if I have it highlighted, but what he said about Japan and India is that you guys are struggling economically because you're xenophobic, because you don't have open borders, because you just won't let people in your country willy-nilly like we do over here. And if you would do that, like we're doing here, then your economy wouldn't be struggling the way it is, the same way China's economy is struggling and Russia's economy is struggling. Now, that's fake news, that's misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, dangerous rhetoric, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But let's keep going. Let's carry on before I show you how that stuff is fake and what he's saying isn't true concerning those countries, right? At a hotel fundraiser where the donor audience was largely Asian American, Biden said the upcoming U.S. election was about freedom, America, and democracy. That sounds like a joke. The election is definitely not about freedom, America, and democracy. Right. If this is something that's supposed to be coming on the side of the Democratic Party. And that the nation's economy was thriving because of you and many others. Remember, he was talking to a room filled with Asian Americans. Joe Biden proceeded to say, why? Because we welcome immigrants, Biden said. Look, think about it. Why is China stalling so badly economically? Why is Japan having trouble? Why is Russia? Why is India? Because they're xenophobic. Duh. Because they're xenophobic and they don't want immigrants. Tell me this doesn't sound like Biden attempting to justify the migrant crisis. In my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, that's what he's doing, because what he's saying is not true. What he's saying about Japan, Russia, China, and India is not true, and especially not India. Especially not India. And we're going to get into more of that and why that's not true in a minute. But as it pertains to these countries being xenophobic, as we speak, there are people from all over the world, including Americans, who are currently living in China, working in China, and going to school in China. Also, let's not forget the fact that China, by and large, is our enemy. China is one of our adversaries, just like Russia. But just like in Russia, you have the same thing going on. Americans live in Russia. People from all over the world live in Russia. People from all over the world who are not Russians work in Russia. And those are our adversarial nations that are supposed to be, you know, very bad people. And I don't know. I'm not saying that they aren't. But my point is that what he's saying is not true. These are not xenophobic nations. What he's doing is saying that what he's attempting to say is that the reason that they're struggling and we're not is because we have open borders and we let everybody in this country willy-nilly. And if you guys would do the same, well, then you wouldn't be struggling the way that you do. But once again, that simply isn't true. That's not true. The president added, immigrants are what makes us strong. Not a joke. That's not hyperbole. Because we have an influx of workers who want to be here and want to contribute. Let me make a quick amendment to that. I think what he meant to say is that because we have an influx of low-wage workers that are coming into the country to undermine the wages of working-class America by taking jobs that should be paying a proper wage to American citizens and giving those jobs to illegal immigrants for essentially extremely low wage, under the table money, like what's happening in Grand Rapids, Michigan, that we covered on this channel, as it pertains to illegal immigrant children working in factories across Grand Rapids and across many, many states and cities in this nation. Okay? That's what he actually meant. That's what he's actually talking about when he's saying because we have an influx of workers. He's talking about illegal immigrant workers getting that under the table money, getting that cheap labor money that you should be getting paid an honest wage for, but you're not, because we have an influx of, like he said, those who are willing to accept that low wage under the table money. There was no immediate reaction from either the Japanese or Indian governments. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said Biden was making a broader point about the U.S.'s posture on immigration. Well, once again, what is the United States posture on immigration, at least as of now? Open borders. I mean, is it not obvious? It's extremely obvious to me. It's very obvious to you as well. So that's what he's talking about. Biden went as far as to insult our allies that we need, especially if we're getting to some sort of conflict with China and Russia, right? Allies that we need. He was willing to offend them to justify open borders here in America. Now, what did happen and what followed up after this is that Japan and India did reply. And I want to get into that as well. I want to get into what they stated, right? In this article, it reads here, Japan and India rejects Biden's comments describing them as xenophobic countries. Japan and India on Saturday decreed remarks by U.S. President Joe Biden describing them as xenophobic countries that do not welcome immigrants, which the president said during a campaign fundraising event earlier this week.
Oh, did we get any money?
Japan said Biden's judgment was not based on an accurate understanding of its policy. Sounds like misinformation, disinformation. Sounds like dangerous rhetoric. I'm going to repeat that again. Japan said Biden's judgment was not based on an accurate understanding of its policy.
I get my radio.
While India rebutted the comment, defending itself as the world's most open society, according to India. That's what they stated. Japan is a key U.S. ally, and both Japan and India are part of the Quad, a U.S.-led informal partnership that also includes Australia in countering increasingly assertive China in the Indo-Pacific. The White House said Biden meant not to offend and was merely stressing the U.S. was a nation of illegal immigrants. That's my amendment. He said that we're a nation of immigrants. We're a nation of illegal immigrants.
This is not the first
An additional 12 million.
The wife was like, I love tacos or some shit like that.
And as far as a more accurate counting is concerned at this point in time, and for factoring in the Yale study that stated that we actually had at the time, this was in 2021, I think, when the Yale study came out. The Yale study stated that in 2021, the accurate count of illegal immigrants in the nation was 20 million. Not that, not that 11 million number that they've been parroting for over a decade now, but the real count is 20 million, according to the Yale study. And if we take the Yale study and we put that on top, no, it was 22 million. It was 20 million. And if we take that and we add on top of that the additional 10 million that have come into the country under Biden's administration, right? I believe it's 8 million illegal immigrants that have been caught that we know of, right? And around 2 million gotaways. What is that? About 32 million that we have in here? About 30 to 32 million illegal immigrants that are in the country right now. So we are definitely a nation of illegal immigrants. Not a nation of immigrants, a nation of illegal immigrants. Let me start this paragraph over again. The White House said Biden meant no offense and was merely stressing that the U.S. was a nation of immigrants, saying he had no intention of undermining the relationship with Japan. In New Delhi, India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar on Saturday also rebutted Biden's comment, saying India was the most open society in the world. And I quote, "I haven't seen such an open, pluralistic, and diverse society anywhere in the world. We are actually not just not xenophobic, we are the most open, most pluralistic, and in many ways, the most understanding society in the world," Jaishankar said at the roundtable organized by the Economic Times newspaper. Jaishankar, the Indian External Affairs Prime Minister, if I'm saying your name wrong, which I know I am, my apologies. But this is a very important point that he's going to state right here. This is a very important point that he's going to state right here, Jaishankar, right? That just proves that this is more misinformation, disinformation, dangerous rhetoric coming from Joe Biden, right? Jaishankar also noted that India's annual GDP growth is 7%. And said, and I quote, "You check some other countries' growth rate and you'll find an answer." And he was flexing. Why was that a flex? Because India's GDP growth rate is 7%. Meanwhile, as you see in blue, the US economy grew by 2.5% in 2023, according to government figures. So in a nation like ours that is a nation of illegal immigrants, in 2023, we had GDP growth of 2.5%. Meanwhile, a nation like India, which is an open society that allows immigrants to come and go legally, that's the key word, legally, their GDP growth was 7%. Their economic growth is far outpacing the US's. Yet Biden was allowed to sit up there and lie and said that their economy is struggling because they don't accept immigrants and because they're xenophobic. That clearly isn't true. That's clearly a lie.
Really?
A CRM shouldn't weigh your budget down. It should lift your teams up. A CRM shouldn't hide fees. It should save you money. A CRM shouldn't.
You're almost done with this.
And also what I have here, it states India, which is the world's largest population, enacted a new citizenship law earlier this year by setting religious criteria that allows fast tracking naturalization for Hindus, Farsis, I think it is. Farsis, Sheiks, Buddhists, Jains. I've never heard of that. Jains. I know I'm not saying that right. Jains and Christians who fled to India from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, while excluding Muslims. Yeah, no, I guess they're not fast tracking Muslims right now, but I'm sure a society as open as India will get to that eventually. But right now, they said we're gonna hold off on the Muslim brothers and sisters coming from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. We're gonna hold off on them right now. You know, we're not gonna fast track you guys into citizenship yet, but basically all other religions, you know, have at it. We're gonna fast track you. The point of me pointing that out, though, is that what is it? The Minister of Foreign Affairs, I believe it was. What is this? The External Affairs Minister. What he's stating is true. They are an open, pluralistic, diverse society. It's a fact. The only difference between India and America is that they do it through legal means, where in the US, we just have open borders. And another thing, too, that I want to get to, I don't believe I have it highlighted, but concerning India, concerning Japan, Japan has always had strict immigration laws, right? They've always had strict immigration laws. And they've loosened it up as of recent. I believe as recent as this year, they've loosened up their immigration laws. Now, obviously, they're not doing the whole illegal immigration thing. You just can't wash up on the shores of Japan like you can do here in America in San Diego, right? You can't do that in Japan. But they are loosening up their immigration situation because what they're dealing with right now is an extremely low birth rate. And if I remember correctly, last year, they recorded their lowest birth rate ever since they began recording birth rates in 1899. That's crazy. That is wow. That's wow. And clearly with the birth rate that low in Japan, because of how strict their immigration rules are, they're able to forecast that essentially they're not going to have anybody to live and work in the country because the older folks are outnumbering the younger people because no one's being born, right? So now by sheer necessity, they have to open up their society a little bit more. But my point for bringing that up is this, because I know somebody will probably try to bring that up. Will say, well, Japan did have very strict immigration policies. Having very strict immigration policies doesn't by default make you xenophobic. It just means that they have pride in their country and wanted to maintain the cultural fabric of the nation. That's all that means. And they didn't want that shooken up or changed by having this mass influx of folks coming into the country from all over the world, you know, switching that and changing that around. There's nothing wrong with that. And it worked out fine for them, honestly, until it didn't anymore, which it doesn't right now. It's not working out for them now. But once again, that doesn't make them xenophobic, and it didn't make them xenophobic.
Right.
That's simply their prerogative.
Right.
As far as we have all known throughout the years, and from as far as I've been alive, Japan's always been a free and open society. That if you want to go there and visit, you're free to go there and visit. They're not living under any type of tyrannical rule, right? So to put that on Japan, just like how Biden put that on India, just to justify illegal immigration here in this country, is crazy. It's completely crazy.
Let's go one more. Jesus.
This is for the girlies that hate wearing bras. These bralettes by MeUndies are the only bras I wear. They're so buttery.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, because that is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button, so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And that does also give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's now get into today's news. And today, what we're going to do is dive into Donald Trump's plan for mass deportation. Now, within this article, essentially, this is going to be a combination of the things that Donald Trump has said, alongside with the plans from the right-wing think tank, the Heritage Foundation, and their document called Project 2025. Now, many of you have probably heard about Project 2025 already. I believe it's something like a 925-page document that I personally haven't read. But if I'm going based off of what Democrats and, people on the left say, Project 2025 essentially is a 925-page document, which is a well thought out plan to essentially turn the United States of America into a right-wing dictatorship, to which Donald Trump would permanently be president of the United States from here until eternity. That's if I'm taking what Democrats have to say on face value. That's what this is. But essentially, that's what it's a merger of, because in that Project 2025 plan, there are plans for mass deportation as well. Right. So they're merging both together and saying this is Donald Trump's plan. And this is all despite the fact that Donald Trump has, or I should say his campaign has consistently said they have nothing to do with the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. But nonetheless, he's constantly linked to it. And this article as well, they link they link both of them together in order to give us essentially what Donald Trump's plan for mass deportation is. So let's dive into it. Let's get into it right now. I'm going to pull the article up for you. And as per usual, the link to this article will be in the description box below if you want to read it in its entirety for yourself. And I strongly suggest that you do that. Now, this article is titled Mass Deportations, Detention Camps, Troops on the Street, Trump Spells Out Migrant Plan. Donald Trump is planning to unleash the biggest mass deportation of undocumented migrants in U.S. history should he win re-election in November, involving legally questionable deployments of military and police units and the creation of vast detention camps along the southern border. Now, let's take a moment to pause. If I may put my, conspiracy theory tinfoil hat on, listen. Don't let them fool you when they say he's going to build detention camps across the border. These detention camps already exist. All my conspiracy theorists out there, we know what's really going on. Okay? Those camps are already here. But that's neither here nor there for the moment. Let's just get back into the article. But we know what's going on. We know what's going on. Trump has laid out his vision for a record-setting deportation operation in a series of rally speeches, newspaper articles, and social media posts. So as you can see, they're piecing it all together themselves. This isn't an official plan by Donald Trump, but just based on everything that I just read, rally speeches, newspaper articles, and social media posts, they're piecing it all together themselves to say this is Donald Trump's plan. He intends to move swiftly after Inauguration Day next January to stage mass roundups of immigrants across the country, conducting raids inside big cities where he would face certain Democratic opposition. On day one, we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, Trump said at a campaign rally in Freeland, Michigan. And this is something that he said numerous times over, that day one, he will begin conducting the largest mass deportation ever in the history of America. Currently, Obama holds the record as being the undisputed champion of deportations. Trump is looking to match that, if not completely surpass that, by leaps and bounds. We'll see if that happens if he gets into office. Immigration experts say that the deportation plans for Trump White House 2.0 dwarfs anything previously seen, both in scale and in intensity of the former president's determination to run roughshod over legal guardrail. This time, we need to take Trump at his word. David Leopold, a former president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, when he talks about mass deportation in boxcars or busloads or planes or whatever, that's what he's going to do. In an interview with Time magazine this week, Trump emphasized that speed was critical to his strategy for removing many of at least 11 million people without legal status in the United States today. Now, I have to stop right there because every time I hear that 11 million number stated, I have to make the correction. They've been saying that there are 11 million illegal immigrants in the United States for over a decade now. I go by the Yale University study that came to the conclusion that there are actually 22 million illegal immigrants in the United States today. And that's not counting the 10 million that have come in since Biden has been in office. So we're actually, realistically speaking, about 32 million illegal immigrants. And I was recently informed in the comments section, for whatever that's worth, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful fashion, I'm just saying in general, because I know some people might poo-poo what I'm saying now because I'm articulating that I got this from the comment section, but somebody informed me in the comment section in my last live stream that these illegal immigration counts aren't considering children. It's only considering illegal immigrant adults. So if you're including illegal immigrant children on top of that already large 32 million number, wow. I'm not going to speculate on how big that number is, but all I'll say is wow. Let's carry on. We're going to be moving them out as soon as we get to it, Donald Trump said. To skirt around due process laws protecting asylum seekers, Trump said he will invoke the 1798 Alien Enemies Act, which allows for summary deportation of any non-citizen from a foreign enemy country. He says he will apply the provision in the first instance against known suspected gang members, drug dealers, or cartel members. Now, remember the gentleman Leopold, who was the president of the illegal immigrant something that I just read earlier? This is a direct quote from him and what he has to say as it regards to his concerns about Donald Trump's mass deportation plan, right? He stated this, and I quote, "Trump will have his agents remove people, then ask questions later. If somebody looks like they're undocumented, meaning they have brown or black skin, stop it. Stop it. Don't bring this into it. Don't. If they have brown and black skin, black folks, you need to be against this too. Stop it. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
It's all shitty.
Though it would be funny, and realistically, it wouldn't be funny. But in really bad. Dave Chappelle really sense, it would kind of be funny if I got deported and sent to Haiti, wouldn't it? That would be crazy. I'm born and raised in the United States from Chicago, but that would be wild if something like that did happen, or they just like hem me up, and, on the way to Haiti, that would be crazy. And it would be hilarious, honestly. But that's not going to happen, realistically speaking. On no level would that happen. And I reject Leopold's attempt to bring Black people into this conversation by saying, hey, this is a Black and brown situation and we should all be scared. No. We're not doing that. This has nothing to do with me.
Right.
It has nothing to do with Black skin. But I digress. Or speak with an accent. They could be included irrespective of their citizenship, Leopold warned. With Trump and his team setting their sights on deporting more than 1 million people each year, the operation would inevitably require major infrastructure, including new detention camps. Miller said that large-scale staging grounds would be constructed near the border, probably in Texas. And once again, they keep talking about how they're going to build these new detention camps, but we all know, shout out to all my conspiracy theorists, these detention camps, they've been here already. They're already here. Now, maybe they do need to construct new ones by the border or near the border, but like I said, tinfoil hat back on. Shout out to all my conspiracy theorists. We know what's really going on, and those detention camps were already here. But I digress. By its calculation, the daily number of beds in immigration and custom enforcement detention centers would need to rise from 34,000 to more than 100,000. Even with its 21,000 employees, ICE would be overwhelmed by the task, rounding up millions of people without the involvement of other entities. Trump told Time magazine that he would turn initially to the National Guard and then the U.S. military. If I thought things were getting out of control, I would have no problem using the U.S. military, Donald Trump said.
Acorn TV has every episode of Midsummer Murders.
Sounds like there's a windfall coming your way.
Trump also plans to use state and local police forces to assist in ICE roundups. That would be embraced by Republican-controlled states like Texas, but it would be fiercely opposed in Democratic states, which have tended to place a firewall between law enforcement officers and federal immigration activities. Wow. Miller said the Republican governors would be encouraged to deploy their National Guard over the border into Democratic-controlled states where undocumented migrants enjoyed so-called sanctuary protections. Virginia's Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin, would send troops into Maryland, which has a Democratic governor.
Thank you, TD Hip Hop. I gotta stop you right there for a minute, bro. Just so that I can show the people something. Stop. Okay, sorry. I'm reading it while he's talking. It's usually how it goes, man. So I have to put my glasses on because I don't know what to do. Hey, it's cold. My chest hurt. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys. We're just gonna read the index. The index alone is heavy. So as he's talking about it, just like another book earlier, download it. Just like it, it's like read it, and I read fast, so. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Right here. Hold on a sec. Not feeling. One sec. couldn't concentrate. It's a major ADHD. All right. Overview. Okay, we're just gonna read the index, right? We're gonna read the index. I was already like, I was way down there before I decided to come back up here. I'll just share. Okay. Let's see. I know, right? All right. Overview of the 887-page book. The real solution is for national government to decentralize and privatize as much as possible. Okay, it's just made my heart hurt already. From across the conservative movement facilitated by the Heritage Foundation, claims the Reagan administration implemented 2/3 of recommendations in the first mandate, and Trump implemented 64% of the 2016 mandate in his first year. Broad recommendations cut spending, deregulate, privatize, reduce federal pay, lay off all recent hires, and implement hiring freezes, limit and or ban federal employee unions. Jesus Christ. Transfer as many administration and agency positions as possible from career to political. Repeal as much as the Inflation Reduction Act as possible. Abolish as many federal agencies as possible. There's some of that. Like, I would definitely look into getting rid of some federal programs. Identify China as Departments of Defense. Identify China as the top priority for U.S. defense planning. Wow. China is the top priority for U.S. defense planning. Why is that? Increase, it says identify. It's like these words like that. I'm like, you're already telling us. Why? How do we have to identify it? Like, you're telling us that. Why do you need? It's like filler words. Increase military budget and international arms sales. Expand nuclear arsenal and accelerate intercontinental ballistic missile creation. Increase military recruiter access to secondary schools and require all public school students to complete the military entrance examination. Jesus, you're bringing back the draft, huh? All public school students to complete the military entrance. Yeah. That means anybody and everybody who ever can get through it, gets through it, gets in it. Mandatory, huh? Expel and ban anyone with gender dysphoria or HIV from the military. Wow. Makes sense. Prevent the military from facilitating abortion services. Rectify the damage done by the actions of former intelligence leaders regarding claims of Trump-Russia collusion following 2016 election, suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop investigation, and media revelations of its existence during the 2020 election. No, at least it gave Biden's kid an out. Department of Homeland Security. Dismantle itself and combine all current immigration agencies. Restart and expand use of horseback mounted border patrol. They already got it. They're already using horses. Allow ICE to arrest, detain, and deport immigration violators anywhere in the U.S. without warrant. Jesus. Increase ICE immigrant detention to hold 100,000 individuals daily. That's a lot of motherfuckers. Repeal temporary protection status. Restrict asylum. Reinstate Title 42. Power the Secretary to ban all immigration from any country. Reduce or eliminate visas issued to foreign students from enemy nations. Authorize states and local police to participate in ICE raids. prioritize TSA screenings in the FEMA flood insurance program. Wonder why you need to activate that, huh? No, he's talking about immigration. That is just what Shabbat be talking about without talking about it. Freeze any ongoing treaty. Okay, Department of State. Freeze any ongoing treaty or international agreement negotiations and assess whether those efforts align with the new president's foreign policy direction. Respond rigorously to the Chinese threat. Indefinitely curtail the U.S. refugee admission program. Implement the Remain in Mexico policy. Reposture with Western socialist and progressive regimens, which are at odds with the freedom and growth-oriented policies of the U.S. Eliminate international funding of abortion. Ooh. Reduce funding to or withdraw from the WHO. Media. Abolish CBP, PBS, and NPR. Wow. Not PBS and NPR. Jeez, where am I going to get my political news? Crazy. Just kidding. Okay. What is this? Agency for International Development. Build on Trump's counter China infrastructure. Rescind all climate policies from its foreign aid program. Dismantle USAID and DEI apparatus. Remove all references, definitions, and language on USAID. Hey, brother. Hey, brother. Hey, brother. You okay? You sure?
Yes.
Just you need rest or something?
Huh? Yeah, yeah.
You all right? Okay, you sure you're okay? You don't look okay. All right, brother. I'm gonna shut it down right after this one, okay? I know, but you don't look good. After this, I'm gonna go. Gotta go for a little bit. Let's see. Okay, remove all references, definitions, and language on USAID website, publications, policies, contracts, and grants that, include terms gender equality, gender equity, gender diverse individuals, abortion, reproductive health. Jesus. You want to remove all references, definitions, and languages on websites, publications, policies, and contracts and grants. Wow. Reproductive health and sexual and reproductive rights. Ban federal funding and abortions abroad and condition all foreign aid on not providing abortion. Shift awards from NGOs to faith-based entities. This is just the index, family. Department of Agriculture. Let's see. I'll take it, family. One second, Pam. Okay. Department of Agriculture. She's about to die. Okay, so it says remove U.S. from any UN efforts on sustainable development. Separate agriculture provisions of the Farm Bill from the nutrition provisions. Move all nutritional welfare to DHS. SNAP implement work requirements. Reduce benefits and eligibility. Reduce funding for school meals and eliminate summer meals. Deregulate baby formula in the meat and poultry industry, eliminate protections for wetlands, repeal federal dietary guidelines. Let's see. All right. Department of Education. Jesus. Eliminate the DOE and block grant federal funds to states. Define sex as a biological sex at birth. Prevent teachers from using any name, pronoun other than the name and sex on a birth certificate. Drop all ongoing investigations into sex discrimination. Cancel all student loan forgiveness programs. Restrict income-based payment plans. Privatize all student loans and Pell Grants. Wow. Reduce federal restrictions and regulations on charter schools. Pass a federal Parents' Bill of Rights. Strengthen protections for faith-based educational institutions. Remove discriminate impact standard for discipline under Title VII, I believe. Don't quote me. I don't remember what that is. It looks like 5 or 6, 5 or 7. I don't know. Somebody will know. Rescind the NEA's congressional charter. Privatize DC's public schools. I just can't think right now. That shit is heavy. This is like heavy. Department of Energy. Repeal the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and Inflation Reduction Act. Deregulate energy decisions to stop the war on oil and natural gas. Deregulate energy decisions to stop the war on oil and gas. Develop new nuclear weapons and naval nuclear reactors. So develop new nuclear weapons and naval nuclear reactors. Reduce standard for nuclear radiation exposure. End non-proliferation activities involving Iran and the United States. United Nations. End all subsidies for green energy. Eliminate energy efficiency standards for appliances. Eliminate the Clean Energy Corps. Environmental Protection Agency. Reset advisory boards to expand opportunities for diverse scientific views. To the extent the IRA remains ensure grants and funding not provided to states entitled and not to nonprofits. Repeal grants through the IRA in environmental science activities. Lengthen timeline to improve air quality. Reduce regulations on greenhouse gas emissions. Prevent social costs of carbon from being taken into account in risk planning. Repeal Biden's regulations on hydrofluorocarbons. Reduce standards for hazardous air pollutants, radiation, and pesticides. Like, I feel like family, we're gonna have to get on our grind and do some major motherfucking research. Like really heavy, deep dive all the way back as far as we can in our own personal lives, just to make sure. Because this right here is like, if he really wanted to do that, he said, already implemented 64% of this. If before. That's a lot. Ban CDC from issuing guidance on masks or vaccinations. Ban CDC from issuing guidance on masks. Ban HHS from issuing eviction moratoriums. Repeal all IRA health policies, including Medicare, drug negotiations, block grant Medicaid, add work requirements and time limits, eliminate the Head Start program, LGBTQ, allow medical providers to refuse care to trans people. Wow. That's to lose a lot of your base, bro. Prevent Medicare from covering gender reassessment surgery. Refuse to enforce any prohibition on sexual orientation or gender identity discrimination. Reverse all Biden and Obama era LGBTQ equity measures. Allow adoption and foster agencies to discriminate against LGBTQ and unmarried people. Define reassigning the sex of a minor child as a parent or a doctor as a child abuse and abortion or in contraception. Eradicate abortion in all forms, including abortion pills, defund Planned Parenthood, ban all research using fetal cells and stem cells, ban states to report every abortion in order to receive federal Medicaid funding, withdraw Medicaid funding from states that require abortion insurance coverage, allow insurers not to cover contraception and surrogacy fund research into fertility awareness-based methods for family planning. Say, you want you to have babies the good old natural way, and then they come in two genders. That's it. That's the basic short version of that. All right. Transfer okay, development. Let's see, let me make sure. I might have to stop this for some reason. Forgive me. I'll say. I want to say 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna read a couple important ones. So I gotta go family real quick. I'll be back though. I don't feel well all of a sudden. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, I just feel kind of dizzy. All right. Departments of Justice prohibit FBI from combating misinformation if not tied to criminal activity. Remove the FBI from the Deputy Attorney General's supervision and place it under supervision of the Assistant Attorney General for the Criminal Division. Reassign prosecuting voter fraud. Reassign prosecuting voter fraud from Civil Rights Division to Criminal Division. I can get down with this part. Let's see. Ensure the 44 individuals on federal death row are executed and pursue the death penalty for all applicable crimes, particularly abuse of children. Wow. Aggressively deploy RICO laws. Finalize Trump's border wall. Help DHS find undocumented people living within sanctuary jurisdictions. Enforce a federal law against providers and distributors of abortion pills. Withdraw all AG Merrick Garland immigration rules. Reinstate all Trump rules. initiate legal actions against DAs who refuse to prosecute criminal offenses. Some of this shit I can actually get down with on this portion. Like, just a couple days. Department of Labor, eliminate DEI programs, prohibit federal funding for CRT training, eliminate race, ethnicity, data collection and employment, remove discrimination protections on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, and sex characteristics. That's important. Eliminate disparate impact as a valid theory of discrimination. Allow employees to make employment decisions based on religion, sexual orientation, transgender status, and marital status. Employment, exempt small businesses from OSHA violation fines. Allow states to get waivers from federal labor laws. Allow teenage workers access to dangerous jobs. Authorize investigations into unions without requiring a formal complaint. Cap and phase down H-2A and H-2B visas. Damn. Department of Transportation. Abolish discretionary grant making in favor of block grants. Reduce fuel economy requirements. Stop funding hiking trails, bike lanes, and sidewalks. Reject the Vision Zero approach to safety. Encourage airline consolidation. Reduce the number of flight hours required to be a pilot. Reduce funding for public transportation projects. Reduce safety regulation on trains. Department of Veteran Affairs. Rescind coverage for abortion services and gender reassignment surgery. Aggressively recruit retired physicians to serve veterans. Privatize disability medical examinations. Shift from FTEs to contractors. In the Office of Accountability and Whistleblower Protection. Whoa. I was like, that Office of Snitches no longer exists. Department of Commerce. Review the department with an eye toward consolidation, elimination, and privatization. Abolish the Economic Development Administration, which dispersed CARES Act funding. Dismantle the National Oceanographic. I guess it. The Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. Privatize the National Weather Service. Eliminate marine sanctuaries, no fishing zones. Abolish all advisory committees not required by statute. There's a lot of motherfuckers that could be without a board to sit on. Designate WeChat and TikToks to the entity list, making them non-operational. Review the Census Partnership Program to promote conservative groups. Add a citizenship question to the census. Abolish the Census Bureau National Advisory Committee on Racial, Ethnic, and Other Populations. Department of Treasury. Withdraw from the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Agreement. Withdraw from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Withdraw from the World Bank and the IMF. Repeal the Corporate Transparency Act. Privatize Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Eliminate U.S. Trade and Development Agency. Enact two-rate individual tax system of 15%, 30%. Reduce corporate income tax. Repeal all tax increases passed in the IRA. Institute a 3/5 vote threshold in the House and Senate to raise taxes. Increase the business loss limitations to at least $500,000. Lower estate tax to 20%. Eliminate tax deductions for educational expenses. Cap untaxed employee benefits at $12,000 per year. Repeal most of the Dodd-Frank Act. including the Financial Stability Oversight Council and disclosure relating to mine safety, resource extraction, and CEO pay ratios. Import Bank, Federal Bank, Import Export Bank, Federal Reserve, Small Business Administration, and Independent Regulator. I think this is the last one. Abolish the Export-Import Bank, abolish Federal Reserve. What? Abolish the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, abolish the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, abolish the Public Company of Accounting Oversight Board, allow the SBA to provide loans to religious entities, reduce loans for disaster relief, oppose efforts to redefine the purpose of business in the name of social justice, corporate social responsibility, stakeholder theory, environmental, social, and governance criteria, socially responsible investing, sustainability, diversity, business ethics on common ground capitalism. And that is that. The conservative playbook echoes strategies that have been implemented in the U.S. and abroad to extract wealth. Wow. They're kind of laying it out there for you, huh? Implement neoliberal economic reforms that are deeply unpopular by taking advantage of crisis, wars, and natural disasters to justify change and shock the populace into acceptance. Defund welfare and public services. Deregulate and privatize government services so the individual can make massive profits. Suppress protest democracy using incarceration, torture, murder, and military corpses authoritarian takeovers. Example, Pinochet regime in Chile, Thatcher regime in Britain, Yeltsin regime in Russia, Reagan regime in the U.S., and the American occupation of Iraq. Wowzers. Yeah, so that's that 2025 project, because it's all the shit, like, this gotta be like one of those things to like look at and be like, oh my God. Especially if you've been living for like at least the last 40 years, you can see how this could be like, whoa. Huh. There's a lot. Yep, family, that's it. That's just the insight. That's just the fucking the basics of it all. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll go back to that. And that's a lot, right? Pretty intense read, family. Okay. Let's stop right here. Let's see what time I'm doing. Oh yeah, I did good time. I'm gonna go get myself together, and I'll be back. Probably won't see me till Friday sometime in the morning, like around, I think about 10 maybe ish. No wait, tomorrow's Friday, so we got Shabaka's show. Right after Shabaka's show with Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase. I'll be on right after that to carry on with the remaining part of the show. For some reason, I felt like I was gonna pass out. I don't know what that's about. I feel like kind of dizzy, so I'm gonna go for a little bit and take care of myself. I'd say really, if you want to ask me if it gets loud, like I don't really can't say because I ate and I ate fruit, so I don't really know. I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden it's like this real wavy. And I felt like I was just gonna fall asleep. Like damn, like I think it's just like I felt like I was gonna dissociate from my body, just fall out right here. Just kidding. No, I felt like I was really gonna fall asleep all of a sudden. So I didn't want to do that. I'm not really even tired. I don't know what happened. But I'm gonna go check out my brother, and I'm going to take care of myself. So I'll be back tomorrow, right after Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase. Join us tomorrow morning. I believe it is at 9 o'clock Mountain Time. I don't know the times for Vegas. I do know that we'll probably be simulcasting as usual on our usual channels and Blog Talk. Somebody will be running the studio. Shabaka will be in there. Hopefully we've been having pretty good shows lately. Fella's been in there tearing it up, man. I haven't been on the outs, but the fellas have been in there just giving each other that business. So, join us tomorrow, tomorrow morning for Grand Rising with Shabaka the Chase on Blog Talk. See if I got one up there. I haven't checked in. I don't know what the topic is. But there's the number for the call in. Let's see. It's a lot of us. But like there's I don't have no nothing on here. It's on there just for me. So yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for watching the Frontline. Excuse me, I apologize. Thank you for watching the Revolutionary Agenda. I'm your host, Seduction Doll. Join me tomorrow after Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase. From Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced tomorrow morning, and then I'll come on again for the Revolutionary Agenda after that for a few hours until I'm gonna be in between doctor appointments and stuff that comes to the house. So I'll be in between that. So hopefully we can get things going. Pretty much done with my migrational chapter of this chapter. So if I didn't feel weird, I would have carried on, but I kind of feel I don't feel well right now. So anyway, see you tomorrow. Peace. Stay black. Stay dangerous. Stay favored. And touch base in the early morning, right after Shabaka's show. See y'all soon. Stay black. Stay dangerous. Stay favored.